was Mrs. favorite tree, so I had a sawman come in. I gave him the log. I split that in half to get it on his trailer, but he cut some branches up for me. I still got about 300 to 400 feet of 5/4 and 8/4 slabs for tabletop and flat work, and I still got about 4 or 5 pickup loads of logs left. Like I said, it was a big
Wow.
tree. Everything
Wow.
seems to be highly figured too. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was big. It was big.
Always a great bonus when you cut
Hmm?
into a tree and find that it's figured.
Oh yeah. It's been here a long time, but it was split down the middle, and split kept getting bigger and bigger, and took them down before it took out my house.
Has anybody had much experience with Bradford pear?
Cuts
I
beautiful.
haven't. I've seen some pictures of stuff being done. It looks pretty, but I never ran into it.
Because I've turned a couple that it was green, and I turned it to 1/4 inch thick, and then let it air dry with a fan on it. And I'm now up to the point now where I have to do the second trimming of it, but they didn't crack. So I'm just wondering if anybody else has any experience. I've read one place that when it dries, it does warp, and the top of the bowl is no longer flat. It did do some warping, but it didn't crack. I just wonder if anybody else has experience with it.
Most all your fruit wood will do that. If you'll cut it thin, turn it thin while it's green, then it will warp on you. If you cut it thick enough to go back and second turn it, chances are it will crack on you.
Oh boy. So in other words, I did it to about 1/4 inch. So now when I take it down to at least smooth it, it probably will crack now.
If it's dry, it's not going to do anything else for you. It's going to do exactly what it is. But you may find cutting it, turning it down to 1/4 inch, you don't have enough to go back and do much with.
No, I just want to smooth it.
Just flatten the top. Is that all?
Well, the sides, when you put your hand over it, you can feel a couple little ripples.
Maybe. You'll just have to put it on there and see what you can do.
Well, that's going to be tomorrow, probably.
Yeah.
So I did get a moisture meter, and it's now running between 5 and 6.5.
Okay.
So I think it's dried pretty good.
Yeah, you're dry. Folks, let me tell you, we're 8 minutes into this, and we've already got 31 people in the room.
Wow.
That's
just
pretty
fantastic. Yeah.
Is that a hint that we might have to start earlier? I mean, this is the BS session. It goes on for 30 minutes before we really do anything. But hey, I got no problem listening to Woodturners talk to me.
Absolutely. We talked about that a few weeks ago, Eddie, I believe, where it just seemed like early and earlier people are there waiting to get in.
Oh, when I pressed the button, 16 people jumped on tonight within a moment.
Absolutely. I was one of them. Yeah.
I was one.
Me too.
Yeah. Yes.
John Brown was there, but he's hanging out waiting for us anyway.
Martin's on.
Yeah,
Donald's here.
Well, that's late for Martin, but that's early for Martin.
I'm here.
Yes.
What time is it out there in the UK right now, Martin?
12:10. That's why we tend to sit. Mike, I've just noticed on the screen there, Mike Stratton's also in from the UK. Paul, I think, is joining us from the UK. But at 12 o'clock, you get to that point where we can grab a sandwich, a cup of coffee, and 12 o'clock is nice for us to jump on, and then we end up staying a while.
There you go.
It's that 12:30 where we're thinking we're kind of sitting and hanging around, and sometimes we might just feel like we're going to nod off and go to bed. So that's why we jump on about 12 o'clock, Eddie.
Well, I just now found a record program that I want to watch, and it's on tomorrow beginning at 3:30 a.m.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jay.
3:30 in the morning, record power.
Eddie, is that the Theo's one?
It's oh boy.
I think that'll be the
it's about
Theo
a-
one that you're talking about. It's UK tomorrow morning. UK time is about 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
They also have another one that runs for the American time and Australian time, New Zealand time, or something that's a little bit earlier and fits in with you guys a little bit better. I think I might be able to tell you. Oh, it was last night. Somebody's just posted there. It was last night at 6:30 Central.
Okay, this one is
What they
This
tend
is-
to do is they do the two time zones with exactly the same demonstration, so that you guys don't miss it and we don't miss it, and it fits in with our times.
it is Theo doing a ball and cup toy.
Yeah, well, if you missed it at your time, Eddie, you can join us at our time, but our time is about 9 o'clock in the morning, which, like you say, is about 3 o'clock a.m. for you guys.
Okay, I
Hmm.
might do that if I sleep
Yeah.
in.
I'm sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning.
When I did radio, 3:30 in the morning was wake up time, and boy,
Mm.
that really got old. I didn't see the 10 o'clock news at night for years.
When I worked at that cracker plant, I was leaving the house at 3:30 in the morning.
Hey, Eddie, this is Andy Phillips.
Hey, Andy,
Could I say something on a very serious note?
of course you can.
Okay, I just got my new American Woodturner about 2 days ago, and I would encourage everybody to read page 20. There's an article in there that if you read it, it's called Clean Your Shop. And what it is, it's a number of people who have written about their friends who, when they pass away, they are called to clean their shop out and help dispose of their tools. And that's something that should not be put on your loved ones. It's an article that is extreme. Every woodturner ought to read it, because I mean, they talk about in there, there in the corner was all this firewood, and under it was some of the most beautiful exotics that once it's covered, you never see it. And it's just a good article. I mean, sometimes an article just hits you. And I think they were looking in my shop when he wrote it. And also, Eddie, I think looking at one of your late videos, when you started getting in your shop, you might want to read this article. But I'm kidding, but serious at the same time.
Oh, Andy,
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, I'm serious too. We're filling a garbage can 2 times a week, maybe 2 garbage cans twice a week.
Okay.
And I'm finding stuff on shelves that I really should have thrown away years ago. But here's the deal: if I haven't used it in 8 to 10 years, I don't really.
My threshold is 2 years.
Anyway, it's a good article. I recommend it. So.
And then you throw it out and you need it right at that moment.
That's
Well,
why I didn't think it was a threshold.
What was the,
That's
the
Murphy's
an-
Law.
The American
What was that
Woodturner,
magazine,
the
Andy?
AAW magazine.
Okay.
And if you're not a member, you know, somebody in your club should be and let you read it. But then if you're not a member, I don't know why you're not.
I'm lazy.
Okay.
We've got a member of our club
Because all they
that is going through exactly what you're talking about, Andy, and I completely agree with what you're saying there. He's had to be drafted in by the widow to try and help sort the shop out. And the amount of things that he, as a woodturner, is saying, Jesus, I didn't realize he would have had this much, you know, in timber and in tools. So I can completely understand what you're saying, and I would say exactly the same. We have a thing over here in the UK where we kind of say, the problem is when you pass away, your wife will sell all your tools at the cost you told her that you purchased them for.
Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
be very careful. If it's
I do.
if it's sitting around the shop and you're not using it, why is it there? Get rid of it. Buy something.
Let me.
that's
I have a question. As far as tool handles go, in y'all's opinion, what is the best piece of wood to use for a tool handle?
Oh boy, here it comes. We have 40 people on, give 40 opinions.
Ash.
Really?
Ash, hickory, straight
Hickory,
gray.
hickory's good too. I've got some out of oak. I got some out of cherry.
I got mahogany.
Okay, some odd oak.
I'll really embarrass you. I got one out of Cocobolo.
Hello.
Yeah, that was a
Go
pretty handle. That was a pretty handle.
Whatever you got available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Broomstick.
I would stick away.
Well,
I would
I've
stay
got-
away from softwoods. If it's got needles, I'd avoid it because there's not enough grain structure. And
Okay.
it might not break where the tool is. It may break where your hand is.
Okay. Well, I would do one out of ebony, but man, that's just such an expensive wood.
Yeah. No.
You know, I hate to.
You can't say that to the man that's just told you that he's made one out of Coca-Cola. That hit my heart. Right, he might as well have
Smell it.
stabbed me in the back.
Yeah, I get that.
I've got plenty of ebony. We're desperate for Coca-Cola.
That is my favorite gouge. It's a 3/8 inch Ellsworth grind with a little relief on it from El Yavisara's technique. And I use it today 2-3 times. It is my favorite gouge. That's why I got my favorite piece of wood for the handle.
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Man, it was good to see you making another video though, Eddie. I've been enjoying them.
Made one today. It's gone out. It might be out already, but it's in fact I got to edit it if it's out. Ronnie will be on in a few minutes and we'll talk about it, but we've been having a little bit of fun and that's where I want to go. Fun.
I'm enjoying your videos too, Eddie, your new ones, and I'm really happy that you're back doing what you enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. It's last weekend I went back out to the shop and I need new glasses for close-up stuff. And all of a sudden I remembered I can have safety glasses out of bifocal. I put them on and things were better. I mean, so much better it was unfunny. But I worked in there Saturday afternoon all day. Sunday, then I got out of the tractor and aerated the yard and get the trash out and all that. I could barely walk on Monday morning. But boy, I feel good on Sunday.
I tell you, one of the best things I like about your videos, Eddie, is your catchphrase. All you got to do is watch.
That's it.
I love it.
I had some guy from a club in maybe it was Oklahoma tell me that pointing at the camera like that's an insult.
Don't listen to him. He's
That's
an
your
idiot.
trademark.
Yeah, look away.
Yeah, exactly. It's your trademark. That's the only thing that you do. That's what you do. Nobody else does that. That's what makes you unique.
I thought it was weird. Unique's a good
Nah.
word for it though. Come on, folks, talk it up. It's 18 after the hour. It is 43 people in a room. You gotta have something to talk about. What are you turning?
Been too cold.
There's Ryan.
Well, let me tell you guys. One of my club members has got me hooked on trying to make knives. So I'm trying to teach myself how to make knives. And I'm poor and frugal. And I'm looking at the few sanders I have, and I'm like, geez, I really need a drum sander. So I started looking around at the web about people making them and putting them on their drill press and this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's just a cylinder. So I made a cylinder, 1 inch in diameter, cut up some sandpaper and taped it on there. Worked like a charm.
I guess it was 1960. Somebody gave me a newspaper box that they used to put on a corner. Remember in newspapers? Remember those?
Yes.
And it had a cabinet. And I told my dad I was looking at a Sears tool catalog. Remember Sears? And it was a 2-inch drum sander sleeve that fits on a auger. And I got this drum and the auger, and it took me a week to modify that bench to have that drum sander come up through there. I burned up so many pads on that thing. I mean, but it was, I made the tool. I had to use it. That was it.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hello.
Hey,
How's
there
everybody
he is.
doing?
Hi, Ronnie.
Good.
Hi. What's new, everybody?
It's still cold.
Still cold? Glad y'all.
Cold.
Brenda's got no Band-Aids on.
No Band-Aids.
No Band-Aids, huh, Brenda?
Got all my fingers.
That's good, girl.
Nothing flew off the lathe this week.
Good.
Gotta tell
Did
you, it could
anything
be-
get on the lathe?
For all y'all
Yes.
complaining about it being cold, it could be colder.
It will be on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think we're
In
supposed
there.
to be negative on Saturday and Sunday, like -5 or something.
That's not good.
Tomorrow's supposed to be 81 here in San Antonio.
Quiet.
That is so
It's
wrong.
snowy out here.
You'll end up with a
Wrong,
heat
wrong,
stroke at that.
Time to go to the beach.
Hey, it was warm today. It was like 32 degrees or something like that.
Gee, you were warmer than we were, Doug.
People will
Yeah.
brag
Not
about
even up to 32 today.
people will brag about anything. The temperature is not the one to brag about.
We're getting ready for summer down here at 81.
Yeah, then you can keep that 400% humidity too.
Definitely.
Greetings, all.
Hey, Dane.
I added
Hey,
something at the top
Dane.
of the chat if anyone hasn't noticed. Just in case you're curious, I think I put the agenda up there. And I think I put a bunch of links that you might find interesting. For example, how to get to the Freedom Pens information and how to get to Pat Chasts. Okay. Past chats. How about that? Information.
There you go.
And things about demos. And what else is up there? YouTube accounts for
before
people
list.
on the site and the photo gallery. Just so that people, when they come to the meeting, I'm going to start doing that every week. So if you're interested, you can go to the top of the chat and you'll see some of those key addresses and you don't have to look for them.
Great.
Great job, Dave.
I seen the 2 before list on there too today.
Absolutely. I should have that on there.
Former Cardinals second baseman Colton Wong
Okay. I got to say this before we get any further. That website that Dave is building for us is coming to be one of the best in the world on Woodturner.
Yes.
And we keep adding to it. And you know what? It's your website. All you have to do is add to it. You got something coming up, you got an idea, a tip, a picture, whatever. Send it to Dave and we'll use it. But that's our goal. Spread information. Y'all talking about weather. Y'all do know the story that God gave us weather just to keep us talking.
It's a safe topic, Eddie.
Right.
No
Yeah.
politics, no religion.
No, and everybody's got an opinion about it. It's all
That's
right.
And nobody knows what's coming next.
Oh, that's the truth.
Yeah, you got that. Not even the weather forecaster.
Not in PA, they don't.
Can change at a minute's notice without a notice.
They're usually wrong.
Dan, I'm having a hard time finding you in a roll tonight.
Uh-oh. I'm there.
Dayton, you've been posting some pretty stuff on Facebook.
Hey, thank you,
Yes,
Bob.
sir.
Yep.
Been
Dane,
trying to get as much in as possible because I'm going to be down for a couple months. I'm having hand surgery on Monday.
Uh-oh. Well, I hope it goes well for you.
It makes 2 of us. I'm going to, the doctor's going to be really upset if he screws up my hand.
What's he doing to it?
I've got severe trigger finger in my two inside fingers, so I can't bend them, and it hurts like hell.
His handle's gonna be too left-handed.
Yeah, right.
Learn how to hold that gouge in your teeth.
Could be an option.
Yeah, didn't turn the lathe around.
Yeah, learn how to turn one-handed.
Dane, did you get your airbrush yet?
Nope, still waiting.
Really?
Oh well, it's gone from San Diego to Los Angeles to San Diego, back to LA.
So it's not coming to Amazon?
No, it's it's coming through Amazon. I don't know what the issue is there with it.
Wow.
No, it's coming USPS. Through
That's
Amazon,
why.
but through USPS.
Only thing coming straight to you is Amazon.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. My customers are upset because they ordered something 3 weeks ago and they don't have it yet.
Yep.
I got the tracking. Sometimes it's in their city and it still takes a week to get to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had something stuck in a post office that I could walk to in 2 or 3 hours from here, and it was there for a week and a half. I called him. It was there a week. I called him. I said, "Look, I can come get that thing if it's still there." and one of those guys went and looked for it. So.
Hello, Martin. Stayed up for it.
You're not the only one, James.
Is that
Hey, Paul.
Oh, hey, James.
James and Paul. I knew you'd stay up, James. I knew you would end up staying up.
Yeah.
More Brits coming. More Brits are coming.
Mick's down the bottom.
Yeah,
Here I
Mick's
am.
down there. See, we like coming over, Eddie. We like coming over. We like listening to you.
Hey, it ain't me. Hey, it's you.
Well, that's right. We like to see.
Hey,
That's
Martin,
a
I
great
got a
point,
question
Eddie.
for you.
We like to see the Americans work. So we want to see more woodworking from you guys instead of just pictures of your faces.
Well, we're trying to teach you the best we can.
Ronnie, tell them we need to see more of their work. Go on, Ronnie.
Martin, I got a question for you.
Oh, Ronnie, you're not supposed to pass the book back.
The mail system in the United States is USPS. What is the mail system in the UK?
Royal
Post.
Royal Mail.
Royal what?
Royal Mail. Our Queen delivers it.
Royal Mail. Oh, that's what the Queen does?
In a bloody person, no doubt.
Royal Mail. Okay.
Royal Mail.
If y'all didn't notice, they thawed out cables and he's on tonight. He was frozen. I mean, you know.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, see you thawed out there, Kate.
Back.
Did you catch anything, Kate?
Cade's inside. I've got no sympathy for Cade at all.
Yeah, we caught a few small pickerel, a few small bass each, but we were really going for the walleye. So, and nothing within regulations, so we couldn't keep anything.
Bummer.
Yeah, but it was fun.
How big was the crowd on the lake?
There was maybe 8 huts in total.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, bad day's fishing is always better than a good day's work.
Yeah, for sure. It was relaxing, just chilling, hanging out in the tent on the ice.
So do you just
have
have a
some
tent?
alcohol out there?
You don't have one of those permanent ones with like the bunks and the TV and the heaters and stuff?
Like grumpy old men?
Yeah.
A couple of my buddies have some of those, but they're more like drunk tanks than fishing huts.
A drinking club with a fishing problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These were just in tents, quick pop-up tents. They didn't take long at all. So.
Cool.
I was just going to sympathise with you, Dane. You're talking about your fingers.
Yeah.
I just had a replacement finger joint put in my little finger.
Ooh, how's that coming along? Looks
It's
big.
slow. It was 2 months ago, as you can see. It's still quite swollen.
Yeah.
But the old one was just rubbing together and causing too much pain.
Right. Yeah, I'm hoping for some relief on that. That's miserable.
But tell them, James, we're brave in the UK. You didn't cry.
Yeah, my hand was numb. My hand was numb since about Christmas, and now it's just my big finger and my small finger, this finger here, and they can't do anything to get my diabetes under control. That's what I found out I had a couple weeks ago.
Well, that sucks, man.
Well, it could have been worse. I found out sooner than later.
Too late. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I gotta learn how to eat. My sugar's been the lowest in probably a long time today, finally. So maybe things are working.
Good for you.
Peace of mind starts with our complete clean pledge, curbside rentals, and low-touch transactions. With so many vehicles of some
Okay, if you're tuning in, folks, we're going to hit the mute all button. If you want to chat, we have to push the space bar. Otherwise, we're going to listen to The Price is Right or one of those shows. So if from this point on at 6:30, if you want to chat, press your space bar. You're welcome to talk. I'm waiting for you to talk. Let's go. Ronnie.
I hear you.
Hey, Chief, that video is coming out tonight, man. I threw down a gauntlet today, Ronnie. I didn't know what a gauntlet was. I had to go look it up.
Go ahead, tell us.
The glove.
That's a Clint Eastwood movie.
The gauntlet is a mailed glove that you hit somebody with to challenge them to a duel.
I had to go to, I had to ask Siri, what it is.
What did Siri say?
A heavy hand weapon. So. Well, what we're talking about is Ronnie and I did that thing the other day on how to refinish a wooden coffee cup. I had turned one, and it was maybe 10, 11 years ago. Maybe, well, I'm thinking maybe 20 years ago. And it just got oil and grease, and my wife washed it a couple of times, and it needed to be refinished. My goal was to show you how to make a reversing sleeve. So if you turn one, you turn a cup. My idea is to turn the inside to fit your sleeve first. Get a perfect fit on its sleeve. Cut a template out if you need to, so you can make sure it's perfect. And then flip it around on a dead man. That's what I call a jam chuck. And then do the outside, and you have ultimate control because you know what the inside looks like, and you can gauge it with a caliper. You can just figure out what the high points and low points are. And you don't have to have these big clunky ones. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but some really look rough. And you get a gorgeous piece out of it, and you can do piercing on it. You can do pyro engraving on it and such. But I got off the subject. I was doing this piece, and I finished it with CA. Ronnie called me and said, hey, it's nice that you did that, but why don't you step up to the good stuff? So I threw the gauntlet down. This is how it's going to work. Ronnie and I, and maybe you, or you can get together, we're going to turn a piece. I'm going to show you what I do on one side. Ronnie's going to show you what he does on the other side. You pick it up. You look at the timeline, you look at the finish, you look at everything, and you tell us which way you want to go. Is that right, Ronnie?
Yeah, I was telling that he's putting the CA on like they used to put it on back in the 40s. He's got to step up to modern time. One coat and you finish. I watch all these people putting on finishes. They put 8 or 10 coats on, and if I tell you you can put one coat of the right CA with the right activator and you finish, you're gonna shake your head and say, no way.
What's the right CA?
Uh-oh. Now they asked about the handle. Now you really
Here it comes now. It's Parfix 3408 with the, I think it's 1144 activator. You get it from Mark Soleil, one of our members. And while you're buying this, also buy a stick of Vonex, and you do away, when you start buffing this, you're doing away with the red rouge, you're doing away with the white diamond. If you buff it with the with the Vonex and then put the wax on it, you're finished.
Okay.
And you got a finish that'll be there till the cows come home.
All right, now I got to clarify this. That's not a club endorsement. That's a Ronnie opinion. And there may be other products that do the same thing. I got to be fair about that because we don't do endorsements.
Well, so far, I haven't heard anybody step up and say Starbond has it or anybody else. There's Parfix 3408. The great thing about it is everybody knows at Fools with a CA glue. First of all, it has a very bad odor. This has no odor. And this has a working time probably about 2 minutes, where you'd never get that out of regular CA glue.
What are you saying to about 800 before you put the super glue on?
Yeah, I always sand from 80 to 800. And then when you finish, you put that Parfix on it and you finished. Put it on, buff it out, wax it, and you're finished.
You're gonna put that name of that on the chat.
Well, we have.
It's on the website.
Okay.
Yep. Parfix
There you go.
3408.
Dave's got it covered.
So we're gonna do a demonstration when things get a little bit better and we come out of this COVID. You know, we're gonna do something and show you.
I had my 2 shots. How about you, Ronnie?
I had one. I'm waiting on the second one.
All right. You know, this is not an accident. It's not a joke. It's not a spiel. It's life or death. So, and my opinion, if most of our guys are of our age or close, take care of yourself. Really.
I got mine 2 days ago. I'll get my other one the 22nd of this month.
You got the Pfizer, you got the Moderna.
I had the Moderna.
Moderna, yeah, that's 28 days.
When I went for my second shot the other day, the line was actually 90 people long. And that's by appointment. But the hospital I'm going to says, you know, we will perk it up. And I said, 90 people. It took me 8 minutes for them to move that 90 people down the line. That's how efficient they had it, where they bring in 5, one after the other to maybe 6 or 7 tables. And they have the documented people at the tables with the laptop putting it in so you don't need to wait in line again. I love it. It was fantastic. All right, what else is turning this week? A lot of y'all talking. We've already advised Jay's Sawyer to get some Coca-Cola and make a 2 handles out of it.
Is Johnny?
I am taking donations. I am taking donations.
You have a fund me thing going? I saw Johnny come in. I saw Johnny come in.
Johnny Hughes.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay.
Johnny, do you still have that piece that you showed on Facebook?
No, my daughter-in-law's got it. I need to get it back from her, though. I wanted to show you that.
I tell you what, Eddie and I looked at that. We can understand 2 parts of it, but that third wing out there, we wondering how in the world you got down in there.
Oh, that wasn't that difficult, really. That was the second one of those I made out of a piece of cherry. So Yeah.
That was
Ronnie, Ronnie, I'm going to pop over to this and show folks what we're talking about. There's the piece.
The manta ray.
Well, that's really nice.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Really nice done.
Yeah.
That is extremely unique. I love it.
I'm still wondering how he got into behind that third wing up top.
Is that done as a cube?
Yes, it actually started out as one piece and I cut it into 2 cubes. The bottom piece is from a 5-inch cube, and then the top or the lid with the finial on it is from a 4-inch cube.
Awesome, awesome.
So,
I love the 3-corner bowl thing. There's so much you can do with that.
yes, there is. It's I made one before. There's a fellow that I follow over in the UK that made 2 layers, and so I said, well, if he can do 2, I can do 3. So that's what it turned out to be there.
That's one gorgeous piece of turning.
Is that lidded or is that just one piece?
Well, it was one piece of wood to start with, but it's 2 pieces. That finial is a lid, and it picks up the top triangle and leaves there's a little rainbow in there.
That is beautiful. I just love it.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to make that?
Not long, just really it's just like turning any 3-wing bowl. You just add a little more to it. So, maybe an hour. Don't have something like that.
Wait. You said you turned it about an hour and a half?
Yeah, basically the bottom piece, and then I just flipped it over, and I held it at one point by the bowl itself to redo the bottom down there. And cut the bottom off where I had a tenon, and then I did the other one. Well, it's hard to explain, but if you look at it, you can kind of see how it went there.
I think I heard Johnny offer to do a 2 or 3-part demonstration.
Second that one.
All right, all in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
All right, Johnny, you're toast, bud.
I
Hey,
got
Johnny, if you want to do it together, let me know. It's a
All right, yeah.
great way to test your camera setup, man.
Well, that's what I'm working on now. I got it out here and I haven't downloaded vMix yet, but I've been experimenting here. I just hooked it up and I'm giving it a try there to see what I can do with it, trying to get them lined up there. So
We get a lot of questions about how you set up for this and all. And next week, I'm going to have a little mini CCTV, I'm going to call it, practice on how to set up your own computer, USB phone, camera, or cell phone. I've been on YouTube's using my cell phone, and I'm amazed at the quality of the image and how easy it goes. I shoot it out in the shop, I mail it to my home email, I unload it, put it in my Final Cut Pro because I'm a Macer, and editing has been gorgeous and beautiful. So we're gonna do a little something about that. We'll have a list of things you can do. And of course, our website master is going to take that little chunk and make it into one of our features on the website. So if you don't follow along, you can always follow along later.
yeah, I need to watch it. The Matt Harbor's been a big help on this, getting cameras set up out here.
Hey, the more of us that are out there doing it, the better.
Yeah, I would have never gotten this far without Matt. That's for sure.
Happy to help.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's simpler than you think. That's for sure. I mean, it looks complicated when you start getting into it, but it is really, it's not as hard as it might look before you start into it.
There's probably 24 or more YouTubes out there for different programs, different ways, ads, takeaway, and all that stuff. In fact, the screen you're looking at here, Scott Fichter had an instruction on how to build this. It didn't cost me a nickel. I got the screen, I got the scroll work, the countdown clock, everything comes for free from different websites, and they'll provide you with all of that information, which is beautiful. Hey, before we get too far, it's about quarter to the hour. Every week we do gallery, and we ask you to bring what you have and show us what you have. A couple of reasons for that. When I came up with the idea of this club and Ronnie backed me up, we sat and talked about this forever. We want to see what you're doing because that will give other people an idea of what can be done. We want to see what you're doing so they get an idea of what is possible. I want to see what you're doing so we can see how the finish works out, how different woods work, how different designs work, how holding patterns work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, sharpening all the way down the road. I mean, the list is, pardon me, a mile long. But the thing now is we want to see work that we haven't seen before. Right now we have 90 people on board. I counted a minute ago, and I think only 21 or 22 of us, I lost count that fast, have shown pieces in this program. Next week, we will do a special gallery. That's all I can say, special gallery. No other name for it. This is a gallery for folks who have not shown before. And remember, we have a no but guarantee. We can't talk bad about you. We won't say that's nice, but no buts at all. It always infuriated me when I went to functions, meetings, symposiums and all, where somebody would pick up a piece and say, this looks really good, but, you know, or the finish in this is nice, but I don't need a but. That's my work. But if you want to critique it, do it on your own time. Now, I'll clarify that. We do have a Facebook page, Worldwide Woodturners. And if you want to post your piece and ask others to give you an opinion, that's absolutely fine. But just remember, you could have a bumpkin say something terrible and really hurt your feelings. So let's play it smooth if we could. What else is going on tonight, folks?
I did some live edge turning using my one-way coring tool, which I never thought about doing that, but I think Dane had done that, which turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
Billy, we don't want to be talking to you. We saw the pictures of the pins you turned on the internet.
I got a craft fair coming up, so I had to turn some pins. I got to make some money. I got to pay for all my tools.
Go to Facebook and Google Billy Dillett, and then you'll see, or search Billy Dillett, you will see these pens. They are amazing.
I did this, like I said, I've done some coring with my one-way. So I had like a sister.
Wow.
Twins. One's bigger than the other one, though.
And you kept the bark on it?
Yes, yes. I don't know if I done it the right way, but
looks like you did.
After the fact that I probably should have took my tool and made me a path before I started because of the unevenness. But the wood was green, so it was very soft. And I had another little piece of green wood that I had cored out that I had turned, and I almost tossed it because it looked like it had a lot of pith in it and was going to crack, but it didn't. It actually turned out really pretty.
Yeah, it looks good.
It is good.
And that's some Mylan's sealer and some Axe polish and paste and just some wax. Finish turned out really, really pretty. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. Made a little small chalice or whatever you guys call that. I call it a miniature wine glass.
Hey, Brenda, look how thick that stem is.
That's the first one I've ever done. It's not. It was just like a test just to see if I could do it without breaking it. But,
see, Brenda wants to do them about as thick as a toothpick.
This wood here this sycamore is just unbelievable how pretty the sycamore is. I love sycamore. Yeah.
Great grain in it.
Yeah, I really love it. But that's all I got. I'm just catching up. We've been doing a lot of coring. I probably cored out probably 20 bowls. So
Wow.
once they dry out, I'm gonna have some good turns. Some of them are 17 inches.
He
Nice.
mentioned something else while we're talking gallery tonight and a lot of other things. If you have a gallery piece you want to show us, you can see yourself on your screen, can't you? Okay. Hold up your piece in front of you and see if there's enough light for us to see it. If not, turn another light on or whatever.
Do I have enough light?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you
have
were
light.
good.
You can do
You were
brainstorming.
good, Billy.
Okay, yeah, I got some nice LED lights.
Those are nice. If I get rich, I'm going to get me some.
They're very, very inexpensive. I think I spent $50 for 6 of them. They're just the tubes. They work really well.
Where did you get that at?
I got them off of Amazon. I'll dig up the link and post it for you because I use magnets to hold them underneath my metal lockers in my little shop. So when I carry them to the craft show, they stick to my pop-up awning. They stick right to the metal rack, and so I have plenty of good light when we do a craft show.
You lit up good tonight, Billy. That's good lighting.
And you know, when you're turning, if you got good lighting, your work will be so much better. And it's not just, don't go by fluorescence. Don't go by incandescence. Well, you can tune a fluorescent to get there. You got to go to 3200 to get a good smooth, good soft light. But the LEDs give you something where you can get more direct and get more detail. And Ronnie and I were talking about a guy that turned a ball or spear the other day, and he had Ronnie, can you describe it?
Yeah, what he's doing. Let's see. What's the Chuck's? I'm trying to think of the brand name of Chuck, and they coming on every week with a demo. Anyway, he's
Record.
Record Power. For anybody, free demos. Record Power is putting out demos every week. Right now, they putting out 2 a week. Anyway, they taking these LED lights. He's saying that it has to be a single bulb light, and he's putting the bulb behind him, and he's casting a shadow on a piece of paper, and he's drawing it out. And then he's taking a piece of wood and he's turning it to that circle that's drawn on that piece of paper. And he's saying it's the easiest way to turn a sphere that there is. So, but it's got to be a single bulb LED light. It's an inexpensive light, he's saying. And that's how he.
For you folks who are sports nuts and you want to do a football, it can happen because it's the shape you're working on, not the finished product. It's the shape you're working on.
And you need to be able to cast a precise shadow, and that's why you need this. You don't want the area light. You want the single light source. Yeah.
There was a demo last night in the U.S. He made a ball in a cup that was Theo. Using the shadow method. That's why I want to watch it. In New Orleans, it'll be on at 3:30 tomorrow morning. But Martin says, Martin told us a little while ago, Martin, you still there? Oh, well. Martin told us that the schedule from Record has different time zones for different countries. And if we adjust one of the time zones, it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning here.
Eddie, sorry, Eddie. Yeah, they do exactly the same demo for the 2 different time zones. So it falls the first day and then the second day. So it's exactly the same demo. So if you miss it, you can watch it, but it won't fall into your time zone. And again, if you just send record the email, you will get the list, and on the list it will tell you the both time zones and the both days that they're showing that particular event. It's not pre-recorded. The turner is turning it live, but it's the same demonstration on both days.
Thank you, Mark. And it's not on Zoom. It's a webinar because they will attract, Ronnie told me the other day, they had almost 1,000 people watching them. Right, Ronnie?
Yeah, that's what they up to now. They outgrew Zoom and they had to go to webinar, and they expect about 1,000 people every meeting.
And it's not as interactive as we are, because if you have a question, you got to do the typing thing and put it on the chat. And then the host, who's not the turner, the host will relate that question or comment or whatever to the turner, and then you'll get a response. We've had a couple of really good ones lately. It's Theo tomorrow, and I'd like to say it was last name, but I'm not going to try to. I'll insult him. But if you send an email to Mike D at recordpower.co.uk. That's MIKED at record, RECORD, power.co.uk. And this information is in our chat.
You say it's going to be on chat?
You can look at the, it's all the schedule. Well, Mike will send you back the schedule and the access number. There's no password anymore. He'll send you the schedule and you'll see the times, and you just go to Google and convert that time to your time, time zone stuff. And Martin says it'll be on 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to sleep in. I really am.
Yeah, it's 9:30 in the morning UK time, Eddie. So that'll be 3:30 American time tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
It says 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, 3:30 a.m. our time.
Yeah, that's the middle of the night.
Yeah, Central Standard Time. If you send them an email in the subject line, you have to put RSVP, and then they'll automatically invite you for the next meeting. The only problem, you have to do it every week. You got to send them an RSVP every week, and they'll invite you back.
Can we put this information on our chat so we can pick it up when we're done?
Well, the mailing address is on there right now.
It's in the chat already, Bill.
Thank you much.
But if it's on at 9:30 UK time in the morning, you're 6 hours Central Time behind us, so you should get it 3:30 tomorrow afternoon.
No, 3:30 a.m. Mick. No. In the morning, 3:30 in the morning. That's what time that is.
Yeah, it'd be a.m. I'm 5 hours behind you.
But the first session, I saw it yesterday, and it was on. I'm on the east, West Coast, and I saw we are right now. So it session usually comes in an easy to use hour, and the other one is really early.
Yeah, the second one was this morning.
Y'all still there?
Yeah.
All right.
It will be 3:30 a.m., not
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah.
It is right here. The 4th. I say it's really easy. Just email them. It comes back. It's probably automatic.
50 minutes, then they get a little break. You got to give the demonstrator a little bit of break, then to continue on the same package and finish it out, soup to nuts. It is really a chance to learn and watch somebody turn. And it's not seeing what they turn, seeing how they turn. All right, it's coming up on 7 o'clock. Good evening, folks. I'm going to lock it down here for a moment, and because we're getting some input from sound. We've got to mention that this is the Worldwide Woodturners. Our site is worldwidewoodturners.org. Our email is pardon me, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. we have a lot going on. We've probably got one of the best websites dealing with wood turning anywhere in the world, and we keep growing it weekly or daily. We like to see photographs of your work, images of demonstrations, tools and tricks and hints and all that, finishes, everything dealing with wood turning. We'd like to see. You can go right to our website, find a contact us, and there's a sheet and send it all there, or you can send it to our email address. I got to bring this up that next week we're going to do a special gallery. For all you folks that haven't shown on our gallery, next week is your time. And we're going to stick with that for 1 week because we want to see just what's out there and what turners we've been missing. Because when you watch somebody else's work, you get an idea of what you can go do. You don't have to do what they do. In fact, you can't do what they do. It's the wood thing. So if you want to get ideas, brainstorms, learn how to do tips and tricks and all that, that's going to be next week. And also next week, we can give you some short, quick ideas on how you can take things you have, computer, iPhone, and record your own demonstrations or show what you have, you tip it all. And it's using programs that are practically free. Say practically free, if you don't have a good phone, you need a USB camera, that's under $20. So we're going to tell you how to do it and let you get in there. And we got some folks here in the program that have some awesome video demonstrations, and they'll be throwing in nickels worth all the way along. Tonight we have a special demonstration by Matt Harper. Matt's going to give us a little something about a spiral.
Celtic knots. Celtic knots.
Celtics, I'm sorry, pardon me. In a few minutes, Jeff will give us our safety thing. And I want to throw this in there before I forget it. Freedom Pens still needs our help. Freedom Pens is a program where you turn an ink pen and you send it to Doug Rowe, and Doug will pass it on to active military members. And he's got a whole flight of them going out right now to continue to come and go. And he'd like to have you participate. We'd like to have you participate in Freedom Pens. That information is on our website, and we'll be glad to share it with you. I got 4 pens in today. I got to forward to them. You don't have to send them to me. You can send them to Doug Rowe directly. There was something here from, I see Mark's Lakes joining us tonight. I'm trying to get into, Dave, can you say something? I know you had internet problems.
I guess I can say something. Sorry, right now my internet is going up and down. So I'm having a little trouble if you suddenly can't hear me.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me?
I got
yes. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay. Yeah, the website is going as best it can. I'm going to put something on the chat right now that gives you a list of all the pertinent pages you might want to go to, like the 2x4 page, the videos, the gallery. Hopefully those will be of interest to you. And you can always go, you can find the chats files there. And definitely from now on at the beginning of each meeting, I'll put something up that identifies how you can get a hold of Doug Rowe and send the pens there.
Well, Doug Rowe, the first sergeant's ahead of you. He just put it on our chat.
Yep, I noticed that one.
Yeah. As we had, in a minute, we'll go to our safety director, Jeff, and get an update from him. But before we do that, we've been doing this for what, about 16 months or so, 18 months. And we've had a lot of input from a lot of turners. And we rely on those turners to give us feedback and teach us things. Well, we learned a little something over that time. And every week we look at what comes up and what we can share and what's going on. So we've come up with a program, and I got to get over here to the right thing. We're mentioning a wood turner of the week. And this week we picked Trey. Why? Because he's done a lot for us. He's had a lot of involvement. He stays tuned in, gives us gallery entries, demonstrations, coordination, facts, tips, and all. So this week, and we're going to do this as often as we can, we're going to nominate a Woodturner of the week. And for you folks in our avatar advisory staff, I screwed up. I said it was Woodturner of the year, but it's a Woodturner of the week, and I think that's a pretty good part. So thank you, Trey, for being part of this program, sir. You're very, very much necessary. How do I say it? Very much.
Thanks for the honor. You may want to check the spelling of my last name, though.
Okay, you got to tell me what the mistake is.
It's Lennep.
Oh, I put the wrong doubles. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't put enough. All right, I'll fix it. Pardon me. All right, let's go to our safety director, and that's Jeff. Jeff, what do you have this evening for us, sir?
All right. Hey, good evening, everybody. A couple things tonight. You know, we always kid around. We see people moving to us while the legs moving. Don't do that. You see too many people getting hurt. Even the professionals will admit they're not supposed to be doing it. Most of them don't do it anymore, but be careful. Also, laying tools on lays. They have a tendency to roll off, and the tip comes down, and it's probably going to go right in your foot. Don't, be careful laying stuff around. If you have a long bed, you have a tool, put a little tool rest on there. They build a box, you lay the tools on if you need to grab them easier, something like that. Also, if you get hurt and it doesn't go away quickly, get it looked at sooner than later, not years. And I don't need to mention anybody's names, but so be careful and be safe out there, everybody. Thank you.
Getting looked at right away is an important part because all that wood has got bacteria in it, and we don't necessarily have the ability to avoid that bacteria. So get it looked at. Don't put it off. I think we have an expert on putting it off, or expert opinion on what happens when you put it off. It just hurts for a long time. Is that correct? She's with us.
Yep, it could lead to worse things too.
Okay, we've talked about it. I wonder if she's still around. Kim posted on Facebook where she got a splinter under her hand and fought it, and finally, brave woman. She said she dug it out.
Yeah, she's indisposed at the moment, I think. Okay. Should be back in soon.
She didn't realize she had a splinter in there. That was interesting.
Had a piece of surface for me to pull out, and that was painful.
Ouch.
All right, Matt, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is Matt Harbour. He's going to do a demonstration. He's in the near freezing climate of Detroit.
Below freezing.
Below freezing, pardon me.
That's all right.
What do we got tonight?
All right, tonight, you asked me last week to show me how I do the Celtic knotwork on the pieces. So let me switch to show this here. Every piece in this presentation is something I've done. So the Celtic knotwork around the rim is technically called a braid, but it's also a Celtic knot. And the one in the middle is also a Celtic knot. And this is all done with pyrography, with wood burning. And let's see here. So these are all pieces I've done. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. Example number one is done on the top of a vase, a hollow form. And I used gold acrylic paint in between it after I burned it. Item number two is done on a piece of poplar. This is my own design. I wanted to do something that was in 4 ways. And basically what you're doing is you're filling space. You define a space, you decide how you want to fill it, and you fill it. And the Celtic knotwork is geometric, but you can expand it to fill the existing space. So item number 3 shows a braid on the rim of a bowl. one of the things that I do a lot is I get information from other places. So the folks who do Celtic tattoos do really great shading. So I've tried to learn from how the tattoo folks do their Celtic artwork and learn the shading from how they do it. Item number 4 is a piece of cottonwood. This is both burned and carved. The knot on the bottom is carved. I wanted to prove to myself that I could make something nice out of cottonwood. There was a lot of sanding involved, but it does burn and carve easily. Okay, this book is my go-to reference book. I love this book. The example page in there, I got both these images off of the net. Celtic Art, The Methods of Construction by George Bain. It covers a whole ton of things, at least 5 different ways, including zoomorphics, which is people and animals, and the key patterns and the spirals, and all sorts of different ways and variations of how to make one thing into another. It's a fascinating book, and it's got all kinds of ideas. Any questions so far?
I'm all right. I'm just following along.
All right. Now, when you're doing this, okay, again, you're looking at this from a spacing perspective, okay? So the blue line is the design needs to fill the appropriate space. So I have made a space on the rim of my bowl or a plate or whatever, platter, and I am going to fill that space. So I have to keep in mind how big the space is that I'm filling. So now a couple things to look at in this. Note that the threads are below inside space. So when you lay drawing around the grid dots. So item number 2 here is the red dots. And that is basically drawn on a center line. And this is what I use the lathe index for, or an index wheel, or a grid pattern that's drawn out on compass points or protractor points. You know, i.e. you draw one out where you've got a line every 10 degrees and you lay it out on a pattern on your plate and do it that way. But basically it's on the center line. So I lay out the red dots and then I add the secondary dots. These are the yellow dots, okay? Now note that the threads are drawn around the dots. So you can lay this grid work out, and it doesn't have to be ordered like this if you're filling an unusual space with Celtic knotwork. As long as you've laid out your grid work and expanded it, you can draw the threads and the knotwork around the dots. And that's the real key to doing right. Item number 4 here, design thread around the grid data, the grid dots. Okay, a cherry platter here. It's on my lathe. Let me expand this out a little bit. I want to point out, my lathe has an index, but I am using the Flute Master index wheel, and it has this, you can't really see it very well. Let me try this. When I got this, I thought it would be a little flimsy, okay? And so it's got this aluminum deal here that hooks up to your lathe bed, and there's a little tightener there and a little pin and a plastic disc. This is really a great tool. I like it better than my lathe indexer. It's easy for me to understand, and it's very fast. So I highly recommend that. Sorry for the endorsement, Eddie.
I have one, a similar item made by another company. I love it.
Yeah, and they make aluminum wheels that, you know, if I hit the Lao or something, I'll hit one of those because I think that would probably be better. But I really like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tool around my pencil, and I'm going to get on the center between my and that's going to be, that line is where I'm going to draw my red dots. So if I switch back to this view, the red dots are all going to be on this line, okay? So, and I'm going to do these with a Sharpie so you all can see the dots.
The same
So-
color?
Yeah. Black.
Okay.
That's
But
what
you're
I
gonna
got, dude.
confuse us, man.
Okay, so on my indexer, I'm going to go every 2 dots, but so there's one there.
Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to explain that the index not locked into 16, 8, they're all on there.
Yeah, this has got 4 separate lines of indexers, and the inner one is 14, so you could do 14 and 7, and there's one that's 36, and you can do any multiple of that, and there's one that's 48, and you can do that, and so there's all kinds of options.
You don't have to do the 48. Yeah, you're correct. You can split it into 8s or 6s
Yep.
if you want.
So I'm on the 48 wheel here, and I'm doing every one, so I'm doing 24 of them.
Hey, Matt, do you normally use Sharpies or you use a pencil?
I usually do this in pencil. Okay, this is some demonstration piece I got on the lathe. This is probably the 4th demonstration I've done using this piece of wood. It gets smaller every time.
Because Paul Barnes' age, we had to use a bigger one.
Wait, what?
It's so you can see them.
Nothing, Paul. Don't worry about it, Doug. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
He's besmirching your eyesight, Doug. Now, when I first started doing this, I was laying out the grid patterns. I literally had a piece of paper and a protractor, and I drew them out in the protractor, and I did them on the on a protractor. If y'all know what that is. All right, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to freehand the next ones. Now, what I want to make sure I do is I leave room. Let me switch to this view again. Now I'm going to lay out the yellow dots, okay? And I want to make sure that I leave room between the dot I lay out and the rim, the edge of my space, okay? So that there's room for the thread. So I'm going to lay it out like right there, okay? You guys see that?
Gotcha.
So I'm laying it out here. So I've got, and I'm halfway between these two. And you could be more precise with this if you wanted to.
You can use your indexer and go 1 spot. I mean, 2 spots again, just go 1 spot off.
Yep, but that's a lot of work. And this is faster.
Thank you.
Okay, now, there's a bunch of variations. I won't go the whole way around, but there's a bunch of variations that you can do. Let me switch back to this view again and show this. So, if you see where that blue line is on the left side, where the turquoise line is, see how there's 2 lines there between the middle section, the short middle section?
Yes.
That's the first one I lay out. So I lay it out here like this, okay? Now the rest of them are all going to be the same way. And I'm laying it out between the dots, okay? Now, the next one is going around the dots, so like that. And they're connecting. And at this point, you can start to connect them, okay, to the next one. And if I'm wood burning, when I lay it out in pencil, I will probably correct it when I lay it out, when I actually do the burning. So, because you want the lines to be continuous as they go underneath the thread, so you've got the illusion of it, okay? And then you draw the last one, okay? And this is why you do it in pencil, because your lines will change, and you're basically connecting the lines.
Okay, I don't know if that rest y'all, but I'm getting seasick.
And then you fill in the black stuff in between. And that's how you do the Celtic knotwork on a bow rim. And if you look at this piece here that I show, one of the things you'll notice is every third one, they're broken. You see that? If you look closely at the design, there's a variation in there. Okay? I don't know if y'all can see that. The first break occurs in the middle between the two yellow dots and the two red dots after the blue line on the left. Okay, there's a break, and then there's two of the lines, you know, across the middle, and then there's another break, and so on. So you can break these patterns up and keep changing them. You know, this is a straight braid with none of those funky breaks. But when you do something like this, you can break it in, you know, every third set there's a break in between where you add a variation. And then you add a little bit of shading like the tattoo guys do. Let me see here. That's what I wanted.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
At first, you were losing me, and then all of a sudden, it popped in, and you make it look so easy.
Well, I've done a lot of these, okay? To be fair, okay? I've done a lot of these. And so it's second nature to me to do them. However, it's repeatable. And, you know, watching this video, you can see how it happened, okay? Once you understand how the designs are laid out between the dots, okay, then you can make it happen. And you know, sometimes I've got to look at a reference, like I open that book and I look for the reference for something I want, and I make sure that I'm getting the right breaks in the right places if that's what I want to do, and so on. So it doesn't hurt to look at a reference.
Hey, Matt, why do you want to break? Is that just to break the pattern up?
Yeah, you're adding a variation instead of just being a straight braid. Let me go back to this one here. Instead of just adding a straight braid, you're adding a break, okay? And if you look at, let me go back to this image here of my own pieces.
I can see the three separate like rings or whatever.
The vase has got a straight braid on it, but the one on the lower left, the cottonwood vase has got a straight braid on it, but the one on the upper left has got the breaks in it, okay? And so does the bowl number 3 along the rim. And then I've done something different, even more different on the piece number 2. So there's and you know, if you look at the example page in the book here, it shows a bunch of different ways. I mean, this is just one small section, and this book is like bunches of pages like this. You know, you can see how you take one step and you add a break here, you add a design here, you add a line here, you change things. There's hundreds of different ways to do this and lots of different variations. So
yeah, I like the breaks. The breaks look good.
Yeah, it adds a you know, character to the piece. It adds, you know, there's like I said, there's a ton of ways to do this. So you know, you're limited by your imagination. And I mean, I basically got into wood turning because I had a Celtic art obsession, and I had some good designs in the round, and I was like, I walked into a hobby store and said, you know, I'm looking for some things that I could paint my round designs on, and looked at what they had and said, boy, this stuff is junk. I can make stuff better than this. And at that point I started researching wood lathes. So that's how I started.
Well, Jacker in Victoria, Texas just posted on chat. Hey, he did a little Google search and he found some patterns, and those links are on our chat right now. I cheated when I did mine. I went to Google and typed in Celtic knot sketch, and then I blew them up to fit the piece. It didn't work as nice because proportionally it fell apart.
Well, the beauty of using the grid system to lay it out is, and using an indexer, is you can fill any space. You don't have to resize things perfectly. You don't have to, just sort of, manipulate it so it fits. If you understand how the grid patterns work and how you go over and you go under and you go over and you go under and that kind of stuff, and you start getting into the zoomorphics where you're doing people and animals and trees and stuff. That's just so cool. So
when I did mine, I had to take the piece I used as a template and color it with a marker because I kept crossing up what was what and what, because it's 3 strands. It's those 3 strands goes under, and
the bottom line is if it went over last time, it goes under this time.
Okay, that's like lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay.
Yeah, you just look back to see if the last time it ran into a strand, it was on top. Now it goes underneath, and if the last time it went underneath, this time it goes on top.
Right.
Could we
What else
get?
we got questions for Matt?
Yeah, could we get an address on where we get this indexer wheel?
I think is it flutemaster.com? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Master.
Anybody else jump in with that? Mine came from
Yeah,
this
that
one,
blue one you got, I saw them.
It wasn't flood.
I don't know if you can see mine, but one of the guys in our club has a CNC machine and he makes them there for everyone.
Hold on, Johnny. I'm going to go there. Say again, Johnny.
So one of the guys in our club has a CNC machine and he makes them for everybody out of the cardboard, I guess you call it. And that's what that is. And he can put as many holes in there as you want. This one, I think.
It sounds magical. I need a guy like that at my club.
Yeah, he's made them for a bunch of us there, and they go 8, 14, 36, 48, 60, and even 80 if you wanted to do it there. And it's just made out of hardboard. So
I'll be nice. He can join our club without having to pay an admission fee.
Yeah, I'll have to tell him about that.
Oh, I'm on mute.
Yeah, this one has 4 sets of patterns, 4 and it was to combine 2. I either I'll synchronize them at 2 points. I'll put the link in here. Bob already got it. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, there's a lot of options, so it's a real useful tool.
Yeah, he made this one with 6 rings in it, so it's got a lot of different patterns there. So.
I know folks use them for doing those the basket weave illusion pieces.
That's why I use mine for it. So it's got 96 or whatever.
144, 172, yeah.
Yeah, and with you fix the straight edge next to your piece, and because if your bowl's curved, you can just cut your straight edge out of a curved piece, mount it up on your tool. It makes it easier.
Yep, it makes it repeatable, makes it doable.
Yeah, I've used mine for fluting bowls there, and for doing the fluting on them, it works pretty good.
There you go. Any questions on the Celtic?
Yeah, I want to use to burn the design.
I have a wood burner. It's mine is a Nibs burner, but Nibs burner is not making them anymore. They went out of business. It's akin to a razor tip. About half the stuff I have is razor tip, so it's a razor tip wood burner. I draw the lines with a skew, so. And then I shade with the basic shading tip. I do almost all the wood burning I do with just with the skew and the shading tip.
That's a skew tip for the burner.
Yeah, skew tip for the burner, right?
Because get some new turners say, "Wow, how do you do it with a skew?"
So all these lines are done, and the skew makes it easy to draw the straight lines, like in piece number 2 here. You know, I basically drew 4 lines perpendicular to each other, and then, you know, I mean, they're like 30 degrees apart. So that's how I did that one. And the skew makes it real easy to draw a straight line.
And that looks like such a complex design.
This was fun. It was a lot of fun
Matt,
to do.
Matt, tell us
Yes,
how.
sir. The piece in the upper left, number 1, that's done with an acrylic paint pen, gold metallic acrylic paint pen. Sharpie makes them, and other people make some that are better. So there's a lot of things. If y'all want to see some interesting stuff, no, I can't do that yet. I'm sorry, I don't have those pictures available. On my Facebook page, I've got all kinds of stuff in my pictures. You can color these with paints. You can color them with colored pencils. You can color them with all kinds of different things. You can color them with India ink. There's a lot of different things you can do.
A lot of times you got to give up your normal source of markers and stuff and hit an actual art store and bring a sample of what you're doing or something similar, and let them. They'll show you how the parts and pieces they have or the conditions they have at work. That's how I got into some shading with a part one time. The lady said, "That's not what you want. It's the right color, but that's not what you want."
Hey, Matt.
It really helped.
Yes, sir.
So you're basically finishing, you're sanding your piece out, and then you're starting to do this, right?
Yes. Lay it out. I always lay it out with pencil. If I've got some strange design that I want to do, yeah, let me see this one here. Let me go back to this. This design here, the design in the center. I did that with the graph paper. Okay. Carbon paper or whatever, graphite paper, that's what I think it was I used. So I printed the design out on a piece of paper. I taped it all down, and I went over it, I traced it out, and then I had some mistakes in my design on the paper, so I had to fix it on the fly with the Woodturner while I was doing exactly what I told you I was doing, Eddie. Where this isn't right. It went under last time. It should go over this time.
I see that.
So, but I eventually got it all correct. But this was a lot of fun too. I actually did part of this piece in a wood burning demo years ago for my own club. But it's a good example. So this was done in several stages. So thank you.
I've got a.
But, like I say, you can fill any space with Celtic knotwork, and you can find examples where people fill spaces and where they wrap things around. Around things, like dragons and this piece here, this piece number 4 here, the cottonwood vase. The way I wrapped the knotwork around in that space was designed to show that could be done that way. It narrows at the top and narrows at the bottom and comes to points, and it's
If you want to lay that out, if you get a roll of tape for an adding machine, the right width, that could be the piece you tape down to do your outside lines and shove it down for your centers and the other marks.
Yeah, I actually carved this the space, the black space between the knotwork and the rest of the vase. That's a groove. It's carved.
Oh.
So the Celtic knotwork is basically on top of the stuff, the raised section between the two groove lines.
Looks like an applied embellishment.
Like a county road in between two ditches.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly right.
Come on. Well, I think it's beautiful work, and I appreciate it. And I want to see if really here's the deal. We want to see what you have. This entire membership.
what do you have like this, or can you contribute to it, or add, I said contribute, but add accent to it. The man just told us that he carved that part in. That's pretty cool. Now, how'd you carve it, Matt? Let me ask you that.
Geez, that was a couple years ago. I'm sure I use power tools.
Okay.
I'm sure I have a micromotor, but you could do that with a Dremel. So
Yeah,
you just
I
lay
like-
out the line and then carve it. You could do it with a hand tool if you wanted a couch, whatever they things.
Yeah, I've got a some round tip burrs for doing that because when you get done, it looks like it was carved rather than ground, which is a nice point.
Yeah, I have a reciprocating carver too, a handpiece that goes on a Dremel, which uses these flex cut bits, which is really, it's very, very useful. It's like power. It's actually like carving with power. You know, it's a lot more easier than doing it by hand, but it's a lot like hand carving with, only you're using power.
I've got one at the big box stores sold years ago, but I can't find any cutters, and my cutters are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Any other questions for Matt tonight, folks?
I got a indexing system that I use that, I don't know, can y'all see me?
Yes,
I got you, Bob.
Okay. I use this, it's a wheel I got from VM Woodworking. And I made I took the tool magnet, that goes on the wall from Harbor Freight. And I put that on my lathe and I put a board on it and a bolt and use that for my indexing.
Huh.
So this sits on the lathe like this, lathe bed. This little bolt goes in the holes in the indexing type wheel. That works well for me.
That's great.
Very cool.
I like the magnet idea. That's nice.
And you just take it and put it on there and then just tilt it back and it stays in position.
Bob, where did you get the wheel?
It's VM Woodworking. I put it in the chat. It doesn't have a website on here, but it's got an email. Bought it at a symposium. I put the email and the phone number in the chat.
Good, thank you.
That's there.
$25.
And we're worth it. All right.
If you know anybody with a CNC machine or a laser machine, they can make you one. I'm gonna have to
I actually made one myself out of what's that, plastic sheeting, the Mylar, no,
Plexi.
Mylar. Yeah,
Plexi.
that. Yeah.
Polycarbonate.
Craft paper.
Ah,
Which
cool.
you get on the internet for free.
Yep.
And we just glued it to a piece of cardboard. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it worked.
Yeah. And with the world of CNC machines, somebody's going to start beating the big people's pants and turn them out to help folks along. That's how I accidentally got into some of the work I do now. Is guy says, "Can you make me one like this?" Sure. They made it. I can make it.
If somebody could provide an STL file, then anybody with a CNC could do it. Which I would be one that could, but other than her to reinvent the wheel, if anybody has an STL file, which create your G code for the CNC machine.
Or a 3D printer.
Right. Same thing. Well, let us know.
You could probably find it on Thingiverse.
Right.
If it's already been done, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing the information we come up with around here.
Huh.
And
Keep us posted on that, Gary.
When I talk about making stuff for other folks like that, I lose everybody on my
Christmas card list. I don't get any back from them after that.
Got to go move my supper away so I can get onto the keyboard. Go see if Thingiver's got it.
Billy Burt said he'll be back with us in a little while. He got called to the dinner table. Good to see Billy back with us tonight. Anybody else for this embellishment? And that's what I'm calling about embellishment. Okay. Dane is taking names and numbers, and we're collecting folks that want to show a piece on gallery tonight. Please make sure that your lighting is enough so we can see it. We want to know what it is, what kind of wood you use, what kind of finishes on it. You kind of spread this information. Dane, who you got? You're in charge.
Well, we're going to go to somebody new. He's been here for a while, but this will be his first opportunity, I think, for showing something off. Hey, Bob.
Hey, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I've got a couple of pieces here. This was a walnut bowl. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Got a little bit of sapwood in there. Nice. I like it.
Color to it. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And the other piece I want to show off was a beads of courage. See, this was a
That's nice.
Beads of courage. The Beads of Courage display. Some awesome ideas and technique when goes into those projects.
Bob, that's two nice pieces. Thanks for coming forward and showing.
Yeah, Graham, an app for your cell phones.
Oh, and next week I'll give you all links and stuff for it because I was amazed at the difference.
Hey, Bob, don't you have a couple other pieces to show that you recently posted on Facebook?
Sure, but you're gonna have to let me go get it. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll come back to you.
All right, thanks.
Dane, who we got next, bud?
Next, we're gonna go to Friesen, Ohio. What's happening, Brenda?
Unmute and hold your hands up, Brenda. We need some proof.
I already did that.
Both. Okay. No
They're all
Band-Aid.
there. They're all there. Hey, first of all, I want to say that your Woodturner of the week was a very good choice. Trey's last week demonstrated the air gun, inspired me to get mine out because when he said, "Don't forget you can use the nail decals," well, years ago I did that. I put some little decals. And on this one, the wood here, I thought looked like little mountains. So I put a mountain on the back of it with a little.
Oh, that's shaded in it.
Yeah, with a little snow on top. Can you see that?
I didn't know that how it was done till Trey showed last week.
Exactly. And then I got another one. I just put a little
Little I love yous.
you put.
Little heart.
Yeah, a bunch of little hearts around them. Then I've got not finished it. Not go off the way though. This can koozie. Can you see that very well?
Yes. I like the
Getting to the ember.
Finished. I'm going to make this for my brother, and like right in this area here, I'm hoping to put an Ohio State decal.
Nice.
Airbrush. So that's that one. And then today I made another ice cream paddle. And this one is made out of red baloo wood. And I finished it with a CA glue finish. And there was, I think I put like 6 or 7 layers of CA glue on it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. Beautiful work. I'm gonna jump in here for 1 minute, remove the spotlight because I want to chat with us coming up soon, not next week. But coming up soon, Ronnie Burnett and different CAs we use to get our finishes. I've got a brand I like. Ronnie's got a brand he likes. I like the way mine comes out. He loves the way it comes out. Notice that? All right. And we're going to do a video YouTube page that'll show you what we do and how, because working with CA can be a beautiful thing or a torture. So we're going to do that. And as I said next week is going to be a special gallery week. If you have never shown on our program before, next week is the week for you. We want stuff to show and work that you do, because that's why we're here, to show off. And I mean, the ideas.
Mansfield. All right, Bob, you back up.
All right.
You're muted. You're muted.
About that. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I did this one last week. This is the one I posted on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook.
Facebook.
Turned out really good.
Mm.
Sir?
How did you do the burning?
That's that Lechtenberg.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, see, there's no, that's the other side. This one, you can't remember what you can get with this burning. Okay, this is the prettiest one. And then this here's another bowl. You know, one thing I do like about, and that's the reason I really started doing this, it covers up things that you really, imperfections. Like this, I like the cracks in the bottom though. And this, like this, it covers it up. You don't see the cracks. But anyway, I like to do
That is beautiful.
The other, well, thanks. The other piece I've got is you turn it and then you come back and carve it. I think the guy.
Trent Bosch.
Yeah, there you go. And but anyway, I tried one of his and thought it turned out pretty good. It's actually two different pieces of wood. The outside is Bradford pear, and the inside is crepe myrtle.
You have to watch his demonstration, understand how
good.
that works. It is a beautiful demonstration.
Yeah, you actually you boil this thing for about 15 minutes, the inside piece, to where it's real flexible, and you put it inside here, and you put a balloon behind it with the side of the balloon sticking out, and you blow it up. That's what pushes it back out to form the size. Then you let it dry, and then you come back and glue it. Anyway,
It's amazing that you can find a log that has both types of wood.
Those funny looking trees on the curb.
Yeah,
That's a hybrid tree.
Right.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah,
did you make a video doing that piece?
no, I don't have a video of it. I just put it out on Facebook, just posted it out there.
Okay, okay.
Nice job, Bob.
Appreciate the show tonight. That's really good. Up next,
All
we
right.
have.
So up next, we have Peter Soyden. And let me find you here. Spotlight. You're up, sir.
Ooh, lights rough.
You're in the dark.
Ornaments I made for the 2x4 challenge.
Peter, we can't see the piece. It's on the wrong side of the light. That's
Put it
little.
back towards you.
Okay.
There you
Go
go.
ahead,
That's
sir.
nice.
That's better. What are they?
2x4.
2x4. 2x4 challenge.
All right.
Got it.
Another new member.
I can't see his name.
Now,
What was his name?
are those from Lowe's or Home Depot?
I don't know. I got them off a construction site.
Oh, okay.
Just cut off pieces.
Not bad. Not bad.
What's his name? Spell it.
Soyden. Peter.
Yes.
I was looking for it, but I think I found it. Come over to my screen again, Dane. I think we found it.
And I also made this coffee cup.
That's nice.
Put it closer to your face.
Hold it over your right shoulder. There you go.
Stand on your left foot.
Oh boy, I'll fall down.
What did you finish
Now we're
that
messing.
with? Poly oil, wipe on poly.
Wipe on
Wipe on
poly.
poly.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Segmented
Beautiful.
drink. Oh wow, that is good.
Very good.
Bob, gotta let you know, Bob, you did make it into
I don't remember.
Looky there. He's got a cert.
Yeah, he's in there.
Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you.
And we'll add that to
You're
our
welcome.
list that's on our website. And if you look at that, you will see that if you click on your name, you'll see your label come up. What else you got, Dane?
Let's see. We have Gerald Jensen. How we doing tonight?
Hey, Gerald.
There. Now I'll unmute myself so you can hear me. I haven't done as many Celtic braids as Matt has, but I've done about half dozen of these.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Nice.
This is a piece of maple, and the finish on it is Danish oil.
That's really nice. There's a lot of detail in that tree.
Wow. You got a bead on the rim there?
Yeah, it's got a bead on each side of the Celtic braid.
That looks beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Did you burn that tree in there?
Yes, yeah. The tree, I found a pattern on a website and kind of adapted the pattern, resized it, and traced it on and burned it.
Really beautiful work, Gerald.
Outstanding job on that.
Good job.
How long have you been with us?
Oh, gee, I probably 5 or 6 months, I think.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Yeah. I've just been lurking in the background.
You need to come forth more. That is really nice work.
Be careful what you ask for, you might get it.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Yeah.
Welcome all. We like seeing everybody's work, and we encourage it. That tree's unbelievable.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Can you outside edge? Oh, that's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Very
I've done enough of these. I think I've probably done half a dozen or so. Believe it or not, it only takes me about 3 hours to do the Celtic braid in the tree and burning them in.
Now, when you lay out your Celtic braid there, do you follow the same principle like what Matt demonstrated?
Very similar. I use the indexing system on my lathe. I do a grid work pattern and the dot system, very similar to what Matt showed.
Good. And remember, there's no such thing as TMI with us. We'll take all the information we can possibly get.
Right.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Appreciate that show tonight.
It.
I got a little warning on the internet, on our chat. This came from Jack in Texas. Please emphasize safety on a fractal burning. It can easily kill you. And I'm just going to say, don't build your own unless you're electrical genius. If you follow what's happening, and I asked my doctor about it, and he said, don't touch it. But I really want to. Who else we got, Dane?
Well, our final spot for the moment is going to be Cade.
Dave, you gonna show us some fish?
All right. Hi, everyone. Well, I've been on a bit of a baby kick since my wife and I are expecting our first baby. So, and
Congratulations.
also, thank you.
Congratulations.
And so I've made a couple gifts that can also be Valentine's Day gifts. And I'm talking a little low because she's on the top floor sleeping. So I made a couple baby rattles, and I'm going to wood burn BB on the handles, which represents baby Bulger. Okay, so the first one I did was with captive rings. The captive rings get smaller as they go down. Here is Gary. Is Ash.
It's easy on the ears.
Very cool. Thanks. The next one I did, I had some boards lying around that I could laminate together. So the middle piece is cherry and the outside pieces are maple. So the cherry, you just drill whatever size hole you want, glue the one side to the solid side, and then put sparingly glue on the top side where the holes are, because you don't want too much glue seeping into the hole. And then you put the beads inside and then glue the top board together, and then turn it between centers. And this is the one I did out of cherry and maple. And I have a friend who the chef, and he's reading his whole kitchen boards. He had a whole bunch of offcuts. So he's like, "Hey, Kate, you got a use for this stuff?" I'm like, "Acacia? Yeah, sure." So I had some smaller pieces. So I made 2 baby rattles for the grandmas. And I'm going to put Grandma BB on the handles. So the top of the rattle is acacia. The handle of the rattle is the sapwood of acacia, which is a much lighter color. And the bead on the end is pink ivory. No representation to the sex because we don't know the sex yet. And I'm leaning towards not knowing until it comes out. So this one is a maraca style baby rattle. And the other one, which is going to be for the other grandma, is very similar. So they don't be like, "Oh, I like the one she got better." That wood is a nicer color. They're the exact is acacia. The only difference is the bead in the center. But hopefully they won't complain about that. The ball on the end is pink ivory. Okay.
Absolutely.
And sorry?
Absolutely beautiful.
What do you use for
Thank
beads?
you. Thanks.
What did you use for beads?
The beads, I turned a couple beads, but when I put them in there, I didn't like the sound. It wasn't quite loud enough. So I went upstairs and I went in my wife's little tackle box, because sometimes she makes bead jewelry with semi-precious stones and wooden beads that I turn. So I sort of snuck a couple of her semi-precious stone beads and put them in her baby rattles. But she won't know unless she watches the YouTube video. And with Valentine's Day coming up and nothing open, we're on lockdown, stay-at-home order here. I figured I would make something for her. So I laminated a couple pieces of wood together, cherry and walnut. And when I turned it, it created a little heart-shaped box. The finial is also shaped as a heart. That was turned on the lathe in that shape. and then sanded on both sides and then carved on the corners to round the edges and then glued together. The top is book matched to the wood grain.
Very good.
The Valentine's Day box for her.
Real pretty, man.
I like the book matching. That's a detail.
Yeah, fine attention to detail. Thanks.
Great
I have
work.
one more thing if I have time.
You got time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was at Martin's meeting this afternoon, and one of the topics that came up was drinking cups and drinking glasses. So I thought to myself, I need a new whiskey cup, nice wood whiskey cup. And I have some nice acacia cutoffs. So I went and I looked at my acacia cutoffs, and I turned this nice piece of acacia into my brand new whiskey cup. And we talked about finishes and different finishes. There were natural finishes, old age finishes, and new finishes, which were like plastic type finishes or varnishes. Use old age type finish, natural 100% beeswax into the wood on the lathe, and then I buffed it in with heat. I then took it off the lathe and I melted wax on the stove. I then painted that wax on all over the surfaces of this cup. And I took my nice baker's torch or creme brulee torch, and I torched all surfaces, melting that wax into the wood, as well as torching the wood to seal the wood like a charred effect they do to whiskey and wine barrels. So I torched it, and then I took a separate rag and I buffed the excess wax in it. I left it for about an hour, and then I enjoyed my first glass of whiskey in my new whiskey cup.
Makes it taste better.
It tastes great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all natural.
It always tastes better out of something you make.
And folks, if you don't know it, if you just a demonstration right in that and several others who have done demonstrations for us, you are invited to be part of that pack. All members, every one of us is an equal member. So if you got something to throw in there, but it's right up on the top of the hour deal. We started this, we talked about it go from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It didn't work out. So because folks like to chat, Woodturners love to talk to each other about things. And, for 15 minutes, we got to do weather reports. We turn the clock on at 6 o'clock at night. And you can talk all you want from 6 o'clock to 6:30. Then we get into gallery and how-tos and all that. And then we have a demonstration that runs to about 8 o'clock or so. And in the past couple of weeks, we've been running to 9 o'clock with more demonstrations and more tidbits and more jumps and pieces and all that stuff. So now we have a whole hour open time to get you members involved. So if you have something to show, let Dane know about it. We'll link up to you. That's how it's come through. You let Dane know, and then he spotlights you, and we get to your piece.
So I need some participants out there. I need some people to send me some names saying they want to show something off. We're in a dry spell now.
I had an inkling I wanted to show, but I didn't take it off the late today.
Oh, sorry. We got Dave. Something. Get rid of him stuff. Sorry, Dave.
If my bandwidth doesn't vanish, this is probably the first thing I have shown that I thought was interesting. It's a piece of driftwood off the beach, and it only has some butcher wax, a conditioner on it.
Looks good.
I like it.
I was fascinated by the
That's some
what's
pretty
it called?
colors, isn't it?
The I don't know what that's called when you have all the colors as a result of
Faulting.
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 Yeah.
That is beautiful.
It's real pretty.
A lot of color in that piece, Dave.
A lot of color.
Wonder what,
Thank you, Dave.
any idea what type
Thank
of,
you.
what kind it is? Any idea
No,
what type?
it's just found it along the beach. It looked terribly white and disgusting when I picked it up, and I let it dry for a year. I did find that I probably let it over dry because no matter what I did, all I was getting was powder off it as I tried to work with it. And I was feeling guilty because it was refusing to actually cut right. I'm assuming it's because it was over dried.
Well,
Was there much sand in it?
No, there was no sand in it. Well, yeah, there was probably some sand in it. It wouldn't be on the beach without it. But no, it just was in. It was funny. I was thinking I wasn't even getting dust off it. I was getting something more like, oh, I don't know what I was getting off it.
A granulated
Salt residue. It was very powdery. That's all I can
Almost-
say. I
almost
thought for
like
a while there I was cutting a piece of chalk.
like more like granules.
Yeah, granules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been because it was so far along in spalting, just
That-
before it started to disintegrate or decompose.
Yeah,
That
that's
looks like
probably
Usually
where it
they
was
go
at.
spongy.
Hey,
Looks
Dave,
like an
are you
end
talking?
grain bowl.
Very nice.
Dave?
Dave.
Are you,
Yeah.
Dave? Are you talking about it being real punky?
No, actually, it may have been punky, but I actually used stabilizer on it and put it in a
What do you mean
vacuum
about
pot.
it being over dried?
Pardon me?
Because it was driftwood that's been exposed to constant water and then drying and water and then drying.
Exactly. And then I let it sit for a year and a half before I touched it. And I thought what it probably was is it was probably just didn't have any moisture at all in it, I guess. And
Well, Cade nailed it. It was on its way to being nothing.
pardon me?
Cade nailed it a few minutes ago. It was on its way to be nothing.
Yeah,
Good.
that's it.
Yeah, it looks good, Dave. Good job.
Well done,
Dave.
Water will
Hey,
pull the sap out of it anyway and make it extra dry.
Right. All right. Well,
Hey,
we got
hold
some
on,
more
hold on.
people
Whoa, whoa,
coming in.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Dave is our webmaster. This is the page we were talking about a few minutes ago. As you can see, Dane, wow, that's Dane's name. Dane is on there in a list of all the folks that have participated in the 2x4 turning team. And if you were in it earlier and we don't have your name, send it to Dave, and we'll add it to it. But this is what our web clock on it to let you know what club meeting going to happen. So you confused by the time.org, and that's worldwidewoodturners.org. All right, back to Dane.
I don't see Mark. So I saw last on my list. And those shows the ornaments he turned.
Yeah, well, look, there he is with the skull cap on.
You woke up.
Is he awake?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I got your name down, Mark. I'll come to you in a little bit.
All right. Pajamas.
All right. Bill Luce, how are you, sir?
I am fine. I'm fine. How are you fellows?
Oh, we're doing great. Waiting on you, sir.
Okay. I have, for those of you who aren't talented enough to do the Celtic knot around the brim of platters, I've got a couple of other ways you can do it. And for the fellow a week ago whose wife was giving a hard time about glitter, an oak platter it's about, I start with, this was a piece of 10-inch by 8/4 oak, and it turned a little platter. But I like to do the rim, leave a little rim, and this is filled with epoxy, to which I've added a white color. But this has got a bit of glitter. It's hard to see on this, but there's a bit of glitter added to the rim to give it a bit of a contrast. So that's, I've done about a dozen of them. A lot of them disappeared at Christmas, but this is an oak one. This is a 10-inch butternut piece. Again, started with a 8/4. This has got a little bit, the epoxy has got a little bit of blue color that doesn't show up very well on a TV, but the accent is key filings from the local hardware store. So it's mostly brass in there to give it a little contrast. And the last one is a mahogany one, 2 inches thick. And this has got a little bit of glitter in it. It's copper colored glitter to sort of a little bit match the color of the wood.
Oh, it does. It looks really great.
Very nice. Looks good.
Nice finish.
The finish is white pond poly. For those of you who are frugal, the glitter is from Michael's. This is about, I don't know, $3. There's about 10 lifetimes worth of glitter here, and you can get copper, silver, charcoal, gold, white, and black, all in the same little container. So you mix up your epoxy, you add your color, let it sit for a while, pour it in, and then just sprinkle the epoxy on the top. When you get tired of doing that, you can use a contrasting layer, just a little sprinkle of a second epoxy around the top, and make a little pattern in it and make it look like feathers or whatever you want to do.
So you sprinkle the glitter on after you pour the epoxy?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Because otherwise the glitter will sink to the bottom of your pour.
Although the glitter is very, very light, so it actually shavings from the key shop, I put that in first and I put the epoxy on top because it was certainly going to sink to the bottom. But the glitter is really quite light, quite
okay.
It's quite low, and it will float in it.
Did you find that the glitter shows up better than the brass filings?
Actually, it does. The brass filings look nice, but the glitter actually shows up better. And unfortunately, I don't have one to show you, but what shows up really well is when you do, if you do one like this and put a dark layer of epoxy in and let that set for, this is 24 hours. Well, it takes a while to that. But you leave that set for maybe an hour and then take a toothpick or something and make a pattern in it. And that turns out a beautiful piece without having to do anything complicated like Celtic knots.
Good job.
I have that same glitter container and can vouch for its usefulness. I still have it. It's nowhere near half gone, and I use it all the time. So you can get it. You can use that spray adhesive too, and then sprinkle glitter on it.
Yeah, good idea. Anyway, great fun.
Thank you.
Good job.
Very much.
All right, Matt.
I got a question.
Who's that?
Sure.
Brenda?
Yeah,
Brenda.
did you, after you sprinkled the glitter on, did you have to turn it again to make it smooth?
No.
Okay.
You need to make sure, I actually take the bowl or the platter off the lathe and make sure it's perfectly level, pour in the epoxy and let it sit half an hour, and then put the sprinkle in and go away and just leave it till tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate. Well, that's a great tip we had here tonight.
Well, I got enough glitter for probably a lifetime. So
Like one of those dancers down at the airport.
All right, let's get back to Matt here.
All right, I make, this is a mushroom, this is out of branch. People don't this is walnut. People throw branches away. You can use branches to make little mushrooms and goblets and all kinds of stuff. And I leave the pith in. And this one actually got bitten by one of my dogs. It's got teeth marks on the bottom here. So
you say that's
stuff away. What's that?
Did you say it's walnut?
It's walnut. Yeah, it's all. This is a walnut branch.
How did it get so light?
What's that?
My walnuts never were that light.
I've had some interesting walnut in the last few years where there's an awful lot of white sapwood. I have some walnut from somebody where the sapwood, it wasn't even this. I mean, this is kind of yellowish, but the sapwood turned out like bleached white. It was most amazing stuff. I have no idea.
I want a big dog.
No,
Marks in it.
Got dogwood.
Oh, y'all getting bad. I thought
he
my
usually likes the apple, the cherry. So I was kind of.
All right, let's go to Georgia. Mark, time to wake up.
All right, I'll show you a couple. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see it. Okay, this is a little shawl pin where you make a ring, right? And then you've got the shawl pin with a little detent in it. So when the cloth comes through, you can lock it. It locks into the pin there. And that's made out of curly maple and finished with one coat of Parfix 3408.
How does that work, Mark?
What?
How does that work?
You put the ring and you stuff the shawl. You stuff the shawl. Let me get this. You put the shawl through the ring.
Okay.
Right, and then you just go through the knitted shawl with the pin, and it locks in the detent.
Got to ask Doug.
Hey, Mark, I could see like one of your granddaughters putting that in her hair.
Well, that's true. You can make for
Can't do it. My hair's too thick.
I can't do it in my hair because I got none.
That's my problem too.
What's
mine
you can make out of these little offcuts from your bowls and things like that.
Yep, there's no such thing as scrap wood Woodturners.
Right.
No,
you know, I
remnants.
make a lot of chandeliers and lamps and stuff like that, and I buy a lot of tulip poplar to glue up. So here's a piece that had a knot in it, right? So what I did is I cut through the middle of the knot, and I wound up making 2 tea lights out of it. And then you've got a point of interest.
Wow,
that's a great idea.
Here's another little one I just made. Piece of walnut had a knot in it, and so it becomes the point. It's like playing the. Here's a little cherry burl tea light I made.
I love that wood.
Boy, that's nice.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And that's again, it's got, you know, one coat of the Parfix 3008 on it. I wipe one coat on, I wipe it off, then I buff it with Vonex and then put some Carnauba on it. Here's a vase I made 2 days ago, made out of curly maple. It's got an African blackwood base. It's got an African blackwood top, and of course it has a 1-inch test tube. That's one coat of the 3408 buffed up. And
All right. Well, Mark, I don't want you to feel bad because you are a member of the 2x4 club. We'll get back to that. There it is.
Thank you.
2x4 Club. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark.
Hey,
Well,
wait, I need Mark to come back on, spotlight him again, and show that thing for the shawl. I just went and grabbed Homestead 6, aka my commander in chief, aka my wife, who makes shawls. So she can see that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to flip the camera around again.
Okay. Okay, so that's
Okay.
okay. So he's saying the shawl goes through that
Yeah,
ring.
it all comes up through here.
It
You,
would-
you just
so-
bunch it through and then you push it through the shawl and it locks in the detent.
Right here. You could do it like this.
Okay, hold
So
up.
you
Let me put it on me.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
All right.
We need to
You're on your iPad, right?
yeah, I'm
Doug?
on my. Yeah, it should say Doug in Arizona, I think.
It says Doug's iPad, but you don't have video on.
No, that's gonna be
No,
Doug.
we don't need video for that one.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Doug.
I got you.
All
There it is.
right, so there's my wife's shawl. So Mark, you're saying little right to the ring.
Right. And then you just puff it up. Right. Yeah. Put it through the ring. No, lay them over each other. Now, put your finger behind both of them. Behind.
Where your
Now,
sternum would
and you
be.
put that through the ring. You put the ring over your finger.
There you go.
And then you it locks on the ring.
Why are you dressing up like Kim again?
That's like
Partway there.
Hey,
all right, cool.
all right.
Oh, we know what he's making for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to, because my wife's got a bunch of these things that she just made.
Well, you can see, I used a little in it, and it really makes it pretty.
Yeah. That was really cool.
That is way cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We could get Kim to shave our head. She might, y'all might look alike.
No.
Oh no.
Hey, just saying, you guys, that's a Scottish Celtic thing. You could make it flatter and put Celtic knots on it.
Yes, you could.
Hey, guys, I got one here. Let me see.
Got what? Where?
Go to
Right here.
Brenda.
What's
I got
this?
you.
Look,
What you got, Brenda?
got your ring. Got the stick. Okay.
But that's metal.
Well, same thing. Okay. You can bring the scarf through here, right? And then put the stick through the scarf. Pull the scarf tight. And it hangs on like that. Of course, yours wouldn't turn sideways, but see that? That's how. Those knots in it, yes.
So that it locks on the ring.
Huh.
Right.
They work really well for buns, hair buns.
Yeah.
When I had
Yeah.
really long
Yeah.
hair, I use those all the time. That and just plain old hair sticks, make like chopsticks, and you can sell them like crazy.
We'd
All
have
right,
to take
Kim,
it back
show us
about,
your bobo.
What is that?
I said, show us your bobo.
Oh, I cut it out on Christmas Eve.
did you say this?
I did.
Yeah, girl.
I am. I'm gonna. Some people have been putting some ideas, and I'm gonna put it in resin. It's a reminder.
I was gonna say, you can't just resin hanging around your neck.
It hurts.
All right.
Yeah, that was a painful reminder.
Yes, indeed.
And if any of you guys want to see the video on how I did it, how like what not to do, you can head over to my Instagram or my Facebook page. And it doesn't show blood and gore. It just shows you how quickly your hand can get your tool rest.
Yeah.
And obviously I was doing something I been doing. And I knew like, my gut was going to hurt yourself. And I was like, my other side was like, watch me, I can do this. And, you know, and, and so anyways, it just shows you how quickly I slowed that video down as fast or as slow as I could slow it. And it still was like quick, like that. Cut all the way to the bone. When I opened my hand, I can see my bones. Yeah, that was yummy.
Okay, enough of that. I had dinner yesterday.
All right, let's go see Brent.
Hey, how
Hey,
you
Brent.
doing? Hey, so I made a whole bunch of what little aspen cups, okay? And I've been experimenting with different colorings, largely using alcohol dyes and such. And I found that I'm not having much luck with the alcohol dyes on soft woods like aspen and cottonwood and such like that, which I have a lot of. We went up the mountain here a couple months ago. And
Hey, Brent, do you have another light you can turn on?
Can you turn that this way? That help any?
Yeah, that's better. Hold it over your right shoulder. Or over by your right shoulder. Yeah.
This
your
way?
other, yes, you're right.
So I've been experimenting with the color and finding the alcohol inks and such don't work so well on these soft woods. So these ones I put transient dyes in lacquer and shot lacquer on them to do the color. And I think it kind of worked out well on an experiment, and I tried to make one out of each of the primary and secondary colors. So this is my orange one, and here's red, probably too dark to show. That's the purple one. The purple didn't turn out so good. Got blue, here's red, green, and the yellow and such. So it was a fun little project, and I'd never really turned much trying to duplicate different shapes and such before. But it was kind of fun. I kind of like this aspen. It turns easy. It's got some pretty grains and such in it and such. So
I really like how those turned out, Brent. Are you familiar with the work of Don Derry?
I've not heard of him, no.
DonDerry.com. He mixes the dyes with lacquer and sprays it. And he does it a lot on softwoods. He likes elm and stuff like that. So I there might be something there to using the lacquer to I really like this. Yeah.
Yeah. The alcohol dyes and such, these softwoods, the lacquer kind of. I put a coat of de-wax shellac on them first. The grain is a bit and such, so
very
that
cool.
keeps the color on the surface and such. So
I'm glad we got to share that with them. Same idea.
Yeah, it's
Did you color the dark first, or was that the wood normally that color on the bottom?
no, the dark actually, and then I just set them upside down and took some rattle can black lacquer and just shot at an angle on them to color
Okay.
the black on the bottom.
Okay, well, it blended well on the sides too.
Yeah, I just kind of careful about the overspray.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun.
That yellow, that one there is really, really pretty. I like the contrast with the yellow and the black there.
Yeah, the yellow and the orange. The orange was kind of my favorite because it kind of looks like fire in it and such. So, but
I like the blue one.
the blue came out nice. The purple, I did not have a purple trans tint, so I tried mixing it, and my purple got a little off. Mixing blue and red. What was it? I guess, and it just didn't come out quite right. But the other trans tints worked pretty well. So,
Thank you, Brent. Beautiful work. Appreciate you sharing it with us tonight. I see Billy Birch back. He said he's been listening, so he knows we didn't talk really bad about him. But good to see you again, Billy. Hope your COVID thing is clearing up and you're getting back to be sort of normal.
Getting stronger every day.
Good to hear from you, sir. All right, Dane, oh, we got somebody else up?
Yes, sir. We got Joaquin.
No, we don't.
Oh my goodness.
He's out
What
the
happened to him? All right. That's all right. We can go to
Wait, there he
Glenn.
is. There he is.
Oh. That virtual background was playing with your image there.
I had to go.
That's
Hey,
enough. Don't need to know anymore.
Okay. I had a sister-in-law call me up. She says, I need some gifts. How about for some friends? How about making me some boxes? I said, all right. And so I did this piece of walnut and started out with this piece here. And it's got a African blackwood top on it. And she needed 2 of them. So then I made one out of mesquite. This has got African blackwood on it. Took the Sorby spiraling tool, put a little design on the bottom.
That's pretty.
And inside, and even did one on top. I don't know whether you see this.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Do you use the spiraling wheel or the texturing wheel for that?
The spiraling wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
I need to get me one of them.
They're fun.
And I left it raised up where it would show up, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And Eddie, I need a critique.
Uh-oh. I'm avoid this. Ronnie's got a gun.
Even the butt word, would work. It wouldn't bother me.
Oh.
There's this piece of mesquite, and so the cracks was in this pit, and so I filled them up with magnesite. Well, I thought it was too small for a base or so I wanted to do a box out of it, a lid. This is not the lid for it. And so I said, well, I don't think I like that.
Too much of a change in lines.
So then where's the other one? Then I did one out of Texas ebony where because of this grain, how this grain is, I'm having a hard time picking out or matching.
That looks good, Dan.
I kind of like that one.
That looks really good. I like that.
Yeah, I like the Texas ebony on it.
The color contrast.
That's a good combination.
Yeah, I couldn't, the grain in this, I couldn't find any grain that would ever match this because I used the pit like that. So.
That's a pretty finial on that.
Hey, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Here's an idea: is you could use that first lid where the grain doesn't match. You could use the same shape, but if you turned a piece, like let's say you put a contrasting wood like the Texas ebony around the rim of it, so you had, the dark
both of them or just one
in the transition. So
going to bed.
Like I like the shape, okay, but if you had the black wood in the top and the bit on the bottom, maybe that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Make the lid two colors, 2 woods.
Yeah. But finial or no finial? You think?
Yeah, I like the finial.
Yeah,
I like both.
I like the finial.
I like the finial.
You can even make the finial a little bit longer.
Yeah, I can do it out of the Texas ebony. With my first.
I like go with Matt's idea.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you a crazy idea.
Okay.
I look at that pot that you made right there. Takes me back to my childhood in the early 80s, and I see that little barrel of monkeys that I had. So I need you to go to the scroll saw, scroll you out a monkey, put that on the lid instead of a finial.
Well, how about have it hanging on the finial?
I love it.
That's great.
You guys are destroying a good program. It's halfway after the hour, and we're going to wrap this up in 27 minutes. So if you got something to throw in tonight, let's jump in and get it done. That includes you, Dane, because you jump in the last second every week. We thank you for what you do. But you have anything to show this evening, sir?
Yeah, I do. But yeah, let's let Glenn do his, and then I'll go pull this apple bowl that I did earlier in the week.
Let's go, Glenn. Glenn, it's your show.
Okay, I'm here.
Go.
Okay, here we had our wood turning club. Some of us get together and we do some wood burning. And so I did a little illusion bowl I didn't do no Celtic knot, but I did some basket weave wood burning around the rim, and then using the same color grid, I had turned a lid for it, and the lid I did the same thing, the basket weave around the rim.
That's pretty.
And then did a pattern with the same color that I did on the bowl. And then I even did on the inside, I did a little pattern of with a little bit of illusion on it also. So
that's pretty.
That's really nice.
Thanks.
Nice job.
That's it.
All right.
All righty. All right. So I'm gonna spotlight myself. Can y'all see me, hear me?
Now we got you.
So earlier in the week I've been working on some apple wood that I took down a year ago, almost a year ago now, April of last year. And so this was the third piece out of the 3 pieces that were quartered from that one large bowl. And so this was the smaller inside piece. So I had a little bit of a design opportunity here. So I mixed up some resin, threw in some sky blue mica, and filled these little bear cracks. And it's currently just being soaked in boiled linseed oil.
I like that angle on that rim.
Yeah, there was a chunk from the chainsaw on one of the sides here. There was a gouge mark in there, and so I could save the diameter and then save the height. So I just did it at an angle to get rid of it.
And here I thought
the angle looks good.
Yeah, it works good. Works good. I do the angle quite frequently on a lot of stuff. And then the walls are about 3/16 of an inch. So it's drying really good, whatever moisture is left in it. But
Looks like it might be warping on you already. That where you can see right across the top edge, looks like it might be warping already.
Yeah, it is. It is warping a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, the way you did that top lip, it looked like that bowl's an inch thick. But what you saying is like 3/16?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's really
so
terrific.
it's just coming at a, I don't know, probably at a 50-degree angle. Then everything else goes down.
That's nice, Dave.
It is. Great color and finish on it too.
Yeah, it's got that heartwood in it is really neat the way it looks, especially once the oxygen gets to it and it starts getting darker to it, and then the yellow sapwood. It's pretty neat. And there's several tree limb inclusions on the inside as well. So, but yeah, it's
All right, hold it up again, Dave. Hold it
Do
up
what?
again, Dave. We're gonna see what kind of animal we can make out of the stain.
Looks like it's samurai mask.
inside.
Yeah.
The inside animal?
Yeah. What's the inside? Is that
Samurai
hot?
mask.
I mean, you guys that see this every week, y'all know he comes up with these names for these shapes.
Looks like the head of an elephant.
That's right out of the Sistine Chapel. That's where man is reaching to the heavens.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Could
That'll
be.
work.
Yeah,
Looks like the head of an elephant to me.
Or it could be a dude, or it could be doing, little dude going rock on.
Yeah.
Looks like a samurai mask.
Oh, bad.
Sumo wrestling.
Dave, you're still gonna be
Souls in hell.
Good stuff.
even though next week you're gonna be one-handed, you're still gonna be with us.
Yes, I'll be with everybody. And then, so another thing that I'm working on now, so I'm working on making a a spear cutting jig. And so for my boss, part of it I've got made that I'll be cutting in that will accept my tool cutter, but piece of mesquite, and of course I dyed it. And it's got one coat of Parfix 3408 on it. No Vonix, I just buffed it with linseed oil and Demetrius earth. That's pretty.
That is pretty stuff. That is.
I may not even use it. It just looks so good and it feels so smooth. But yeah.
It's heck to get a good piece of material you hate to turn because you don't want to lose the.
Right. Yeah, it's got real, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got shadowance in here from the grain.
Yeah.
The lights, I don't think the light's picking it up as good.
Oh, it's picking it up. It's picking up. I see a swirl and a line in it.
Oh, okay.
And it just winked at me. So that's it.
But yeah, anyhow, that's it for me for this week and probably for the next few weeks.
Well, you can show us some out of your gallery. I mean, of course.
Yeah, I can always pull stuff out from inside the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dane. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Everybody else up, but once we got about
Hey,
20.
I got a question for you.
What
For Eddie or for, I guess, the group in general, because I've been late to the meeting the last couple of Wednesdays. I don't know, did you get a chance to mention, I believe it's Jason Collett, who got those pens off to, I believe was the Air National Guard or the Air Reserves, I can't remember, and they sent you the picture?
I didn't mention that tonight, but it's, you know, the night's not over. In fact, I got to find that and I showed the folks. I got such a sweet, a dear thank you note from the guys and gals. And let's see, I don't have it saved up here where I can. Don't have it where I can throw it up on the screen today. But I got a nice thank you note from the crew, and it really is something else. If you provide these pens and you give them to the troops, you give them to the people that are preserving our freedom, protecting our homes, and serving like some people would never ever serve. They're dedicated. So we send them these pens. And if you put a little card in it, it can be a business card, but on the back, give them a little note, let them know who you are, and I need to get a hold of you. And they're real honest people. They send you a thank you, and it really matters. I mean, if you've been away on a job like they have, and you need a touch of home every once in a while, when they pick up a pen to write home, they know they're using a piece of home to write home. Might sound corny, but it is the truth.
Not corny at all. I've been there. I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Me
A
too.
lot of us have.
Yep. I've been there.
And hey, Jason, I believe those were the pens that I sent you that you then sent on. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was actually a buddy of mine. Well, his wife was getting ready to deploy, and he got married literally 2 weeks before she deployed. So,
Okay.
and I was able to get with her and get pins to her, and she got them out to everybody in her unit.
So with that said, to all y'all in the Worldwide Woodturners, if you know of a group that's going out because it's your neighbor or your whoever, let me know, and I'll try and either I can get the pens to you to give to those people like Jason and I did, or I can go through my means at work and usually contact somebody from any particular unit if you know the name of the unit regardless of branch, and then we can get those pens off. They don't have to keep going to my people. Of course, I love giving them to my, but I want to spread the wealth around the nation as best I can.
Thank you, Doug.
The other thing is the rest of the pins that I had left, I think I had 10 or 12 left. I actually gave them to the readiness group at I work at the Air Force Academy Hospital for their guys, because they send 1s and 2s out here, there all the time. So those are going out to troops too, what was left.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yep.
So good when you do things like that, really. Doug, and if folks want to send you the pens, your address and all is on our chat, but it's also on our website, www.worldwidewoodturners.org. We have all the information. Dave posted all of it. And we really would like you, all you members of the club, to turn 1 pen and send it to us. If we get just 1 pen each, and we, it's going to make a difference. It really will make a difference.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. And when I said that sometimes seems corny. I served in the Vietnam War, and I spent more time out of the country in Southeast Asia than I did in country during that period of the entire enlistment. And getting something from home, a contact, a note. I had friends I went to high school with would send me bags of candy. Not that I needed it, but they'd send me bags of candy. And my dad would send me canned gumbo and boxed rice. So we'd have a little bit of home meal out of canned gumbo. It was still welcome. So you have to think about this. They're away. They're doing their job. They're doing the job you want them to do. And in all that, we need just thank you. Enough of that.
Yeah, because it's a morale booster. It really is.
Oh, they know we care. They know we care. We've got about 13 minutes left before we pull the plug on the top of the hour. You got something to chat about, talk about, show off. Remember, next week, we're going to do that special gallery. If you've never shown on a program before, and we have 65 people still tuned in tonight. Next week is our special gallery. That's the one we're going to hold back from all the regulars and let you show us some of your best work. More design opportunity, right? Well,
that's right.
Design, and we still have our 2x4 challenge going on. If you're not a 2x4 or a 2x2, all I could either day I turned my dead man out of 4x4. Whatever you want, whatever shape you want, from an ink pen to a bottle stopper to a jar to a table to a Christmas ornament to a pepper mill. We've seen them all. Not really. We haven't seen them all. We're looking to get you in there too. We'll make you a member of the Worldwide Woodturners 2x4 Club. Put your name on our website. Let you get your own little label and all. That's how we take care of all of our friends who are our members. Anybody else up tonight?
Anyone?
I have something, Dane.
Who?
Scott.
Scott Haig has
Scott.
something.
All right, keep talking. I'll pull you up here.
I'm here, Dane. You got me now.
Alrighty.
Doug Moore inspired me with his honey locust bowl the other night in his video last week. So I finally finished mine. This was out of a crotch of a honey locust that was at our library here in the town I live in. And I work in the engineering department and got a chance to get some of the wood for free.
That's pretty.
It turned out pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
It's the biggest bowl I've ever turned. It's about 8.5 inches.
Very nice.
What kind of wood is that, Scott? Looks like
Honey locust.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And you got
it's
that
actually
idea.
a crotch. There was like a big burl in the crotch between two limbs, and I cut it out so I got right between the two crotches.
Size got beautiful grain to it. Really does.
It was really hard.
What'd you finish it with?
Right now, all it has is sanding sealer on it.
Okay.
I just made up some fresh shellac, so I'm going to shellac it.
Nice.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thanks, Doug.
you, Scott. Great chase showing tonight, and that is a beautiful piece of honey locust. Could you mention a nice note you received from Megan?
Hey, I got a quick question. Maybe somebody can answer. Anybody ever use any spray shellac zingers in a can?
Yes, I do.
I saw that and I said, man, that's neat for small jobs.
Yes.
I use some today.
At Lowe's, I've got a handle for on the top of it that you can hold it, and it's easier. It doesn't wear your finger out so much. You know what I'm talking about?
Handle.
There's a handle that slips on on the top, and you pull the lever on it, you hold it just like, like this, you hold it. And boy, it's the neatest thing in the world. I'm using it all the time. I'm making a whole lot of Christmas ornaments. And the last finish I put on them for to seal the ink pens that I'm putting on them, I use that spray shellac on it and does a good job.
And remember, you don't have to get up close.
No. You stay back a foot or something like that. And go quick.
Yeah, because if you think anything runs, shellac will run.
Oh, yeah.
I have something to show.
All right, you got to say it again. We can't get you until you talk for a minute.
Neil Mack. I have
I'm
something.
finished. I'm finished on there, Eddie.
Who is this?
Neil Mack.
There he is.
I got him.
One of your co-hosts. There we go. We got you, Neil.
Oh, great. All right, I'm going to show you some miniature birdhouses I turned.
Oh, those are nice.
Thank you. It's from trimmings from neighbors' trees.
Very nice.
And I was just getting ready to ask you to detail that bark, but you didn't detail that bark, did you?
No, that's the real thing.
That's cool.
You can use
thank you
all
very much.
sizes.
Yeah, that's quite different. That's neat.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Bob's awake now. I see you, Bob.
All right. Thank you.
So he's good. Bob.
I'm jealous.
Bob Moffat is our birdhouse master.
Hey, Bob, how's the practice coming?
It's coming good.
It's coming good?
It's coming good.
All right.
Yeah, Bob, what we did is we hooked Bob into a demonstration, folks. Just like we will you if you show us a piece that we think that you can show others some technique, some style. Remember, we don't want to copy your art. Art's not to be copied. It all comes out of here and here. So if you got something to turn, you want to show off, this is the place to do it. We're built for that. 7 minutes to go before the top of the hour. Anybody else up, Dane?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Brent said,
Eddie, somebody, they went ahead and they posted the link to our website where you would put the article with the picture so everybody can go in there and see it.
oh, okay. That's that
nice.
photograph with the aircraft on it. In the middle of the program, I can't do that changeover on my computer. And Bob said the spray shellac is a 1 pound cut. Use lots of it. Okay, use lots of it and getting back, or really the same thing. Get back and use it, but remember, it is a natural product with a solvent, and it will wrinkle and curl. And be getting it off it'll take all the fun out of your day. But it is handy. I used it today on a piece. In fact, I used it to seal the dead man that I was going to turn a cup on because never mind. I'll show you that one day in a video. All right, what else we have this evening, folks? This is your program. We'll wait and hear from you about your wood turning, your ideas, suggestions, tips, tricks, and all that other stuff. We get it right here on Worldwide Woodturners.
Next week, you're going to show us how to use the cell phones for cameras, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm going to show you the program. In fact, I'm going to show you a program to where you can put that cell phone directly into your Zoom program for a camera. So and there might be something just play with, but you can use OBS and NDI, and I'll explain what those are. And then you put the NDI in your phone, and you pick the phone out in the list, and boom, you're in OBS. OBS talks to you Zoom. You can record things.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Just something to remember, Eddie, is that NDI only works with iPhones. There's no working NDI app with Android phones.
How do you toss the Androids to an outside source?
I use a program called IV Cam, which does something similar. I've tried a bunch of different ones when I was getting ramped up to do IRDs. And a friend of mine told me about IV Cam, and that's the one I use.
IVY?
IVCAM.
You put that in the chat?
Yeah, I do that.
All right, we'll add that to our program. We'll talk about it next week. I don't have one of those DOS-based units. I got an NAC-based unit. All right, see, we keep throwing stuff out there. Come on. What do we have? I'm going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes.
So Eddie, what's the game plan on going to the new old folks that haven't been showing photos? What's the game plan on getting our members showing their stuff next week?
Well, this week we've been telling you. Next week the gallery is only for, or primarily, let me say that, primarily for people who have not shown their work on the program before. Ronnie and I talked about it this week. We know there are 100 people tuned in every week, 100 different woodturners, and we see from 15 to 20 of us, of the members. And we'd like to see the other 80. And remember the no bud deal. We're not going to make fun of your work. We're not going to cast any shadow on you. We want to see what you're doing. And we all do great work. We really do, and should be proud of it. But that's how we're going to handle it next week. We're going to tell people that this is what it's going to be, and that's how you can get into it. I'm going to go back to the chat. Matt Harbor says you can get those birds at Hobby Lobby in the dollhouse area. You hear that, Doug, bro? Matt also shops in that area where you do the dollhouse stuff.
Yeah. So I get my
Yeah,
earring.
I go through an entire store like Hobby Lobby. I go through. You never know what you would find. You might use. They got some interesting stuff in the like in the beading aisle. They've got these little little doohickeys in the beading aisle that you can add to your turnings. All kinds of stuff. You never know.
Is it a doohickey or whatchamacallit? Which one is it?
It might be a hoosamajish.
A thingamabob.
Hey, Matt, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you tried Droid Cam?
I did try Droid Cam. My results were less than spectacular. IV Cam worked better for me. I tried like 10 different apps to try and find something that worked. Because when I first started doing this, I was going through Lucid Woodturners, and Alan Zenrich there had, he was using an iPhone and using the software that NDI, is that what it is?
Yes.
And so, we were, a bunch of us on Androids were scrambling around trying to find something that worked. So that's what I've ended up adapting to for my stuff on Windows and with my Samsung Galaxy.
Well, I have an iDroid I can get a hold of, and I have a DOS unit I can get a hold of. I'm playing with it this week. We're going to share the information, and it's not just for wood turning, folks. If you do this, it's a great way to share information and facts and activities with your grandkids, your kids, your family. And think about where we are right now. We're at home, and we're all going to be at home for a while because of the COVID situation. As soon as we kick its butt, we'll be back to normal as can be. But until then, let's just keep things rocking and rolling. All right. Anything else tonight? I got 1 minute.
Yes, I have.
Go ahead.
This is Glenn. I was wondering if like Matt said, he does some IRDs. If the different members could put their names in the chat that they do IRDs. Well, we could.
I think we have a spot on the web page where various ones have it listed.
Yes,
I believe. Dave, do we have that?
Dave, our webmaster, is got that covered.
Oh, okay.
Right, Dave?
I couldn't help. My internet just went out and came back again. What was the question?
About people to do demonstrations, et cetera, IRDs.
Actually,
and have,
we don't have a list of people that are doing demos, but I should put that on. That's a good idea.
all right.
I'll add it.
Good question, Glenn.
Thank
We
you.
are collecting YouTube channels. And if you have.
Yes, we
things you
are
do,
collecting
send it
things
to
for
Dave.
YouTube. Yes.
Yes, send that to Dave. We'll put it on our website. All right. With that, folks, we're going to call it an evening. I thank each and every one of you and all my co-hosts for helping us out tonight. And if you wonder about this co-host thing, you can be a co-host. All you have to do is step and participate, show, get involved. Let us know how you want to be a bigger part of this club. And we're here each and every week, and we're having a great time. You make my day. You really do. Hope to see you back here next Saturday. Right now, 3, 2, 1. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Great.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Time to go monkey
Good night,
around.
John Boy. Good night,
Night,
Dave.
everybody.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good evening,
Good night,
y'all.
Grandma. Good night, Grandpa.
Good morning. Night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night,
Good
Susan.
night.
Okay.
Good night, Mrs.
Good night.
Calabash.